welcome to the stream. My name is Lee, and we've had quite the adventure of technicalities and stupidity, and this one's muted, and I definitely put the desktop. I set this up yesterday. What will one of you say something?
Something.
Yes, good, it works. So I did not forget the part where you can so you can only hear me and not you guys. Cause nope, you're over there. All right, cause I did that once. I forgot to. There's all the little tricks that you forget, and I put up the list where you have your names, and I didn't misspell any of them, and we're good. Hi, welcome on in, everyone. You're live on the interwebs. I just have to do one. Of course I do. So we're probably not going to get a lot of people. But um, um, because I didn't adequately prep it because I have been running around, but I still appreciate you guys coming because we finally got to play again because we didn't get to play since February. So, welcome to any potential audience members. Hi, we're gonna put it up on YouTube. Apparently, last one did not get up on YouTube, and not only that, it that was the record of it. So it is vanished to the sands of time, despite everything, unless I misinterpreted what we did the thing with. In which case, okay, yeah. So it is lost to the sands of time, unfortunately. And the fickle nature of the interwebs. Uh, but um, um, why don't I let my players introduce themselves? Start with Celiac, since he's on top. Um, sorry. Yeah, since you're there, why don't you introduce yourself, your character, hope and dreams, thoughts on the world, whatever you want to say to the people of the world.
I'm not getting all of that. I'm Celiax. I'll be playing the role of Finnick, our resident friendly mutated astropath. What's that?
Um, okay, and beneath that we have Sig playing Johan. You want to talk about you a little?
Hey, I'm playing the character Johan Johansson, the 45th, debonair, uh, thief turned arch militant for a rogue tradership. He loves donuts and more donuts, and even more donuts if he gets his hands on them.
Hey, donuts are delicious. Oh no, no! I put the picture of him in the thingamabob, so we don't have copies of. Morning, Phantom. Yes, Phantom is kind of hanging out in the back. He is also in a game, and we are going to raid into his game when we are done with this game. Um, it's exciting stuff, but yes, we have Phantom hanging around in the back, so that's cool. Okay, so we have our two intrepid heroes, and we have an entire missing session, and I have notes on it. So let's see what my notes say. And you guys had solved the problem. You had, for those of you who have been watching on YouTube, which is very few of you, surprisingly. Uh, on the rebels in the APAC, which you solved. You killed them all. Let's see. Sam. You were planning, if I recall correctly. Um. Yes. Everyone turns. Um. All right. So my. Oh yes. Right. Shared by the battle servitors. The guys. Yes. Okay. So you got there. Now, what's your plan? If I recall correctly, was to head to the planet Telthara. Do you have any other recorded plans that you were headed that way? You guys had some trouble in the warp because you always have trouble in the warp, but as I recall correctly, you had more or less gotten that settled, if I recall correctly. And you were
Why
heading.
are we going to that
Um.
location?
Well, I know that several of let's see. Hive World nearby. Oh yes, so 3 systems. So most likely, oh, how did we get a hype train? How did we get a? That's a thing that happened. Okay.
I know why.
Okay. Well, I appreciate. Okay. There's gonna be an. Okay, I'm gonna do this for 5 minutes. So, um, and then we're gonna have pre-roll ads, and it's gonna suck, but that's okay. Because I have stuff to fix the ads. But okay, you subbed. Is that? How did you get? Never mind. I'm not gonna question. Thank you. I appreciate it. So,
How did I get a hype train? I don't know. I just subbed, and that's what happened.
yeah. Apparently, it's not gonna. No one else is gonna cheer, so it's gonna be fine. But that's okay, cause. Okay. So,
Do you have a record for what's your highest type train so
I
far?
think I only got one ever, and it was really cool. But like, I think it maybe made first, maybe second level. I don't think I've ever gotten anything higher, because I
Fair enough.
don't get many hype trains because
Right.
it's fair. I mean, occasionally someone will sub, but yeah. But then when kids
Work
something
at
doesn't,
hyping up your audience.
yeah, right. Because Phantom subbed renewed because this was the first time he's been on in a month, and then you came on because somehow, even though you said you couldn't, which I appreciate.
Well, I while we were talking, I made a brand new account, and
Wow. Okay.
and
That's
that
kind of
allowed me
cool.
to, and that allowed me to, because remember I couldn't sub before because I couldn't get onto my
Right.
Twitch.
Right. I remember that.
So
But yeah,
now that I have an account, I told
you
you
can do that.
I'd sub when
Yeah.
I could.
And then
So
if you have 2 people sub, it works. I know this because we were trying specifically to get to Wordy Girl, and we like had to coordinate timing so that it was within 5 minutes so we could get Hype Train for her. Oh right. So yes, you guys had were headed to the planet Telthara. Part of it was, I think, that several of the you had spoken to investigated the you'd investigated the transceiver, and I don't have notes on what that did, but I do know this. There was no one there. And I know that you had talked to a lot of the youths on the planet, the young rebels who you had actually gotten a negotiation deal with to help them create peace talks. With you got the rebel leader to go into peace talks with the um, head Shah, who you had kind of been working with and you'd signed the treaty with. You kind of negotiated peace talks for them. So you got them as peace talks, and then you investigated this because they'd been beaming. They'd been beaming stuff down to the rebel leader. The oh yeah, okay. I was gonna say first time chat. It was you. Okay. Um, that's deceptive because you chat all the time. But oh yes, the other thing I was doing was right. So point being is that you had gotten onto the platform, you had figured it out, and you had um done the thing. Yes, that's what you had done.
You've done the thing.
Yeah, you guys had saved Finnick's life essentially. Um um so you had set off. The reason you had gone to Telthara was because you had spoken to several of the young rebels, and they'd mentioned they'd gotten a whole setup and several of their loaders. They'd gotten to talking to the guys who had brought all this equipment down, and they realized these were hired hands. They weren't, any kind of. They were just some randos that these guys had that they'd been hired for a job. They didn't, they weren't they weren't trying to, they weren't, um, yeah, they weren't in on it as such. They were just day laborers hired, one step up from day laborers hired as a crew to help do this stupid space job thing and bring equipment down to this random planet. They were nice enough, and because of the way common, not common, the language in 40k work, not common. There's a technical term for this, where a lot of the ancient human societies speak Gothic. Yeah, they spoke Low Gothic. They both spoke kind of variants of Low Gothic enough that they could kind of understand each other. And basically, they were like they told a little bit about their world and how they were bored and stuff, and they had come from a planet called Telthara. That's what they found out. So yeah, and we are gonna get an ad break. So my suggestion is we, mind you, there's probably not that much of an audience, but if I snooze it now, it's gonna get all wonky. So what we're gonna do is, I think I've already screwed it up. That so we're gonna go. Um, um, uh, while that's going on, I'm going to go. Yeah. So, do you guys want to go to Telthara? Um, I have in my notes that's where you were going, but if you had gone somewhere else and had in your notes that you were going somewhere else, I would agree that we could tweak that. Because I recall you had been dealing with warp issues in the ship because that's how the ship goes. Um, unless you want, yeah, if you wanted to go somewhere else specifically or change course midway, we could absolutely shift it. You could be going anywhere in the galaxy. But I have in my
You
notes
shouldn't
that's
be
where you.
asking me. I mean, I'm just the astropath.
Yeah, but you're well liked by the captain and generally have some say. Um,
So, where are we headed and why? Again?
so Telthara, which is a planet. Oh yes. So Telthara. Um, um, is a hive world.
Okay.
That it's it's actually fairly close to here, relatively speaking, in the warp. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, so you guys had known that the because that was um, 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 that was why was kind of investigating who put this stupid array up and why were they trying to like so carefully to mess with these rebels. And a lot of this, Telthar being a hive world, a lot of this stuff came from there. They do manufacture weapons for the Astra Militarum, and they have enough tech base that they probably made a lot of this, at least some of this equipment was made there. So, and you're pretty sure it's just like it's not anyone on the planet necessarily that's involved, but they're using it as a base of operations. And if you can get there, you could track down more clues or,
Right. Okay. Now I remember.
yes. So now you could just go somewhere else and ignore the problem entirely and say, F it, who cares who's making these rebels, turning these rebels against the Imperium. You're under no obligation to investigate. However, you know, the Emperor dislikes people who don't poke into things like that. And even if, you could also turn it over to Inquisition if you wanted, but poking around is generally what rogue traders do, and Ilthara probably has all sorts of opportunities. They also have, you would know, actually, that they have and do have a couple of donut stores on the planet.
Well, that you should have led with that.
Yeah. So yes, they do definitely have donut. Um,
I mean, so Phoenix, we can either do that, and we have one other mission too that I keep forgetting about because I don't care. But it's still
Was
we
that
should.
the kidnapped?
yes. Yeah, you could
Yeah,
go and check.
that person.
She'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
You.
but well, actually, how? we would have to take like another big giant space trip through the warp, right, to get to her.
She is on the planet.
Like months in the warp. Pretty
Not
sure.
months, maybe months.
I think it's like in a different segmentum.
Not different
Pretty far
segment.
away.
I had a map, didn't I? No, it was on. I know what planet it's on because I spent a while. Hang on, let me go through my planets because I actually came up with. I figured out where her captors were specifically, what island they were on, and you know they um not the one with all the domestic geese of Volthea. I'm almost certain it was Volthea because they had an island nation that I had built up. The I know exactly what island it's on because I spent more time working on that. Okay, Lord, no, it's
Basically, if it was any further away, it would be on the other side of Legless Abbey's fold in the galaxy. So
not that far. It's a
pretty far.
month or two at most. Um, has 85 mining sites. No, that's Tigran. Oh yes. That was. Oh no, that's. Yes, Tiana, which is being okay. No, not that one. Uh, Orthodos. Yes, that's a. No. The Road of Martyrs. Yes, Captain Helmsholt. Oh, that's a Placia. That's where you guys were. Okay. Um, no, it was. No, Koblik, which was where you were before. Um, and here. Oh yeah, that's where Farron's family is from. Johan is from. Well, that's where Johan's from. Um, okay, yes, there's a lot of worlds here, but I'm almost certain she's on Vol. Um, it is not Raron, which is okay. Growth, not Growth. Oh yes, the island. I think Norsak. Yes, that's the one. The Norsak Islands. It is Volthea. Yeah, Norsak, because that's where the island is that she's being held on. Is Norsak. I know you don't care to go rescue her, but yeah,
I
it's.
mean, and I was almost tempted until you said we have like a month or so in the warp, and I was like, I do not want to fight servitors again. I'm tired of those guys.
It probably won't be servitors this time. That only happened like 3 of the 5 times that we went.
Hang on, let me bring up. I, since you mention it, um,
Yeah,
Isn't
unless
that supposed to be like a 2% chance we've hit it like 3 times?
let me go to the warp tables and
but remember, Lee has customized warp tables to
I
make it
know
more
I have
interesting.
that's
Yes,
I that
but
warp table. Here we go. Yeah, but it is only
It's
uh
only 90. It's reversed.
well
We
no,
have a
it's 99
98%
to it's
chance,
5% chance.
and we've hit it
5.
3 times.
We've hit it like 3 times.
Yes, it is only a 5% chance.
Wow.
Um, it's the
Is there
same number of
a
chances. Actually, Freebooters has slightly lower chance.
is there
Gravity, gravity is
casino
20.
planet? Because we need to start playing. We need to start hitting the tables with our luck.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of fun ones that you guys don't hit
Yeah.
as much.
I am quite partial to roulette.
Oh. All right. But yes, it is only a. What we're gonna do. I'm gonna tweak this a little bit.
So, well, my point is that
Yeah.
hearing that we have like a multi-month journey because we'd have to go there, do the mission, and then come back to here
I mean,
if we were going to do this. That sounds like a lot of work. So unless the rogue trader herself tells us it's a good that she wants that done,
that's Captain Homeshop. Listen, you know that I let someone play. I made the mistake of letting one of my players have the captain, which is cool because
you could give the character to someone else or just take over. I mean, it's
I
not like
did.
you
I mean,
don't
I
care.
have been taking over from her, and she would have probably told you that it's a good idea diplomatically to have that kind of leverage over the other guy because of the way the thingy works. And um you know now granted, you didn't tell him, so it's been a while. Well, it's been a while. She may or may not still be there, but um she'd only gone to Plasty because Johann was so very insistent that we should follow up with this. She mentioned the diamonds, and then Johann was very insistent on following up with the diamonds, and not on going on a rescue mission for.
Let's see. Planet full of diamonds. Or maybe save one person and get like a favor that might or might not come up later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also,
I think our rogue trader captain may have something for this lady. Just saying.
I
Because
mean,
there's an unnatural amount of
well, the thing is,
plot armor on this one that
actually, I'm trying to remember if Captain Hamshall actually is straight. I rolled for all of these. She is indeed straight, but, um, not to mention that she couldn't have a soft spot for a particular woman, but, no, the reason is because, the one, her father, this woman's father is works for a rival rogue trader whose family has been at odds with her family, for the Helmshell family, for a while. So leveraging a favor from someone who's really works for your enemy is a lot more useful than just a random favor from some captain. Also, it might be able to like pull onto why, like the how and the why of how they screw up on Growth that was causing all the problems. They released a mercenary group on Growth that, if you recall correctly, that was causing problems with the mines that you had to then go solve because uh, your ship's doctor is Mechanicus Kata Kurosawa, and his cousins were also on Growth. So, but yeah, it would have been more for informational purposes. And you did a thing.
I did away.
No,
What?
it was just Finnick refused to do the interrogation, and so
What?
either you refused or Johann refused to go tell you about the interrogation and get you to do it. So
Huh?
then, Odette, for those of you who are new to our little let's play, we have Odette, who is a arch militant who I made, and because no one plays her, she became sort of an NPC who runs shipboard operations. And she and Johann have had several disagreements on various points about how things should be done. And
Love spats.
if I recall correctly, either Finnick was hurt at the time, which, or Johann refused to go get him. She said, "Well, I'll just
Oh,
do it."
is this shortly after we were at the I'm gonna refer to it as Plague World, though that's not
Oh
exactly
no,
correct.
that was where you went.
Because that's when I got
No,
shot
right?
up.
Yes, that's when. That's when it.
It was like right
Right,
after
that was
that.
then because that he was the one who brought all of the terrorists, the bioterrorists.
Yeah.
He
I
was
was
the
in
one who
medbay.
brought the
I didn't
bio.
know anything about it.
Yeah, he was the one who brought the bioterrorists to the planet. Because they kidnapped his daughter and held her hostage. They had her, and no one's going to release her because they all died. So they died before they could tell him. We had one captured who was in our custody, and none of them could tell him where it was. They wouldn't tell him where his daughter was. But you couldn't do Finnick couldn't do the interrogation, so um, and Odette was very very um confident in Jezebel's ability to do this interrogation before I, as a DM, realized that I gave her a completely different set of psychic powers and she couldn't do the yank information right from people's minds that Finnick can do. She managed to successfully interrogate them anyway, though, because she's cool and badass like that. Although, um,
That sounds like DM fudging to me.
No, I made the rolls, and I used the powers that I'd given her, and I made the rolls and everything, and they
You
failed.
got
So
that 5%, right?
no, it wasn't
I
even
know what
that
he's
high a
doing.
roll. It was she had friendship power. Her powers
Friendship.
were no, it was like
By the
specifically
power of friendship.
she does have that what does she have?
Friendship is magic, and magic is heresy.
Yeah, that's why I had to shoot her.
Well, no,
I did. Did I shoot her? I think
she
I
is a
should have.
sanctioned. She is sanctioned.
Yeah, not
She is
anymore.
sanctioned by the
Not with
emperor.
that kind of heresy.
No, she is sanctioned by the emperor to use powers the same way Finnick is.
But does she have it on her sheet? Because that's a talent that you have to spend XP for.
Yeah, it was a specific psychic technique that she learned that was not quite powerful.
No, I mean being sanctioned is a talent.
Yes, she has. I gave her that talent. I gave her all the. She has sanctioning. She has. That's why she lost her brain. It was part and parcel of the screw up with the. Okay, she didn't lose her brain, but part of the um the sanctioning process is that you tend to get really nasty side effects. Finnick lucked out actually on that. He can see and everything. The problem with he didn't lose any. We're getting a little off track, but if I recall correctly, let me. But my point on that was where's just fair enough. Anyway, the point I made with that was Finnick. There's Finnick. Yes, she had. Yeah, she has ravaged body. She had a lot of things go wrong. Um, with the sanctioning with uh you know yeah um yeah so she has heightened scented sound. That's ironic. No, but yeah, she as part of her sanctioning mess up, she got oh no, she got tainted. Never mind. So she got messed up by works. But yeah, she had been sanctioned, and the problem is she got her perception down to 5, which is if
Pretty
any of
low.
you, yeah, it is on a scale of 100, and your average, I think, for rogue traders, you get what 2d10 plus 25 for all of them. I
Yep.
think so. Yeah, hers is down to 5, so as opposed to 27 as minimum. So yeah,
Like I'm pretty bad at talking to people. I have a fellowship of 21, and that's bad.
Yeah.
So 5.
Yeah. So I because she had good hearing, I had sort of what's it gun? I kind of uh skinned it as auditory processing issues where she can hear. It just like takes her like 3 tries to hear anything. But one of her psychic uh techniques is yeah, no, one of her psychic astro telepathy is delude and inspire. Like she has the like mental. She had yeah. She used. I think she used delude, and she like convinced them that something. She had a very specific one that I. But yeah. But yeah,
So
she
basically,
used.
she's like Mustafa from Austin Powers, where you have to tell her like 3 times,
Yes.
and then you get the information.
Yeah. Basically, she's frustrating to deal with, but nice enough. But yeah, but she convinced these guys by using that she was their friend, that they had agreed to tell her, and then they were patient, because she was using all that mental. She rolled really well on a mental check. They were patient enough to tell her multiple times and explain until she got it. That yeah, she
Okay, so how did I end up
oh right
messing that up?
because no because it was because you had suggested, hey, we should call in an inquisitor and to help with the interrogation. And Adat was like, no, we're not calling the Inquisition if we don't need to. Um, and you got into a huge fight over that. And then she was like, "Well, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna have Jezebel do it, and she's gonna prove it." And she did. She came through, and she figured out where these guys were. So,
which is a
and then,
shame.
yeah, and then you guys never actually went and rescued her. Like she came and
That sounds exactly like Johan. He'd get mad that she went over his head, did it anyways, and he's like, "Yeah, well, great information you got. That's not going anywhere, sucker."
yeah, they were spot. Anyway, my point is,
he's trivial like that.
yeah, I remember. But yeah, he spat with her dead over that. She got Jezebel because Finnick was on bed rest because he got shot a lot.
He's used to it.
Yeah, even after I got like good armor upgrade and I had a
Yes.
telepathic bonus telekinetic shield, like I had an armor that was better than some space marines, and then like the very next fight I get riddled with heavy bolter and completely dropped in one round. Didn't matter at all.
Yeah, I, as a DM, I will admit, was used to balancing for um uh this system I usually run is Space Marines, and
Finnick is not Reinhardt.
yes, I know that now. Yes, and Reinhardt would have just tanked all of that and probably not even taken any damage.
Probably.
Because he's
His damage reduction is like 34 or something.
yeah, he is pretty much a son of Gilliman, but like spiritually a nephew of Varys Manus. I think is the best way to put it. But yes, that is a tangential. So
Constitution of Mortarion.
yeah, something like that. Yes. So what was I going to say? My point, I guess, vis-a-vis all of that was, you could go rescue her anyway. You could go rescue the young woman. I have her name written down too, because I took better notes back then. You could go rescue her.
I have full confidence in the decision making of our arch militant.
All right. So
well, he does not care about her at all because he's never met her, never heard of her. So unless the rogue trader says something, he's not going to.
She is gonna point out that if they were gonna go rescue her, yeah. Okay.
That's not an answer, rogue trader.
Yes. See, the thing is, now
you're the rogue trader. I'm the arch militant. You say shoot something. I'm good at that.
Yeah. I will say, as an aside, as the DM, you were the one who said you're shoehorning us into this rescue mission, so I gave you another option, and you just took it and ran.
Shit, we actually got another option.
Yeah, that is the only reason I sent the message about Aplasia was because you were complaining that we were too shoehorned into going to rescue this young woman.
If we were.
All right. If you don't want to go rescue her, we don't have to go rescue her.
I'm not saying we won't, but it's not up to us. It's up to the rogue trader. We're just a. I don't have to like going on a mission and still do it because the rogue trader says to go do it.
Fine, all right, but I'm going to complain the whole time.
Exactly.
She does.
I'm just going to sulk in the corner and eat donuts. Thank you very much. Which is instead of being happy in the corner and eating donuts.
All right.
Notice the difference.
Well,
I'm telling you.
She says, "Well, we're already pretty much one warp jump away from Telthara now. Let's get to Telthara first, and then I would say we'll see what we can see. And if it points to these guys, to our rivals doing this, then we absolutely must go and at least check on this girl, because that kind of leverage is going to be key if it really is our rivals doing this."
Oh, hey, Lee, as an aside, since I got, since Rob and I are both playing Rogue Trader, and the expansion comes out next week. Rob's big deal about not wanting to play in the game is that he did not understand the lore, the world,
but
the
he's learning
classes.
more. Yeah,
But he says once he starts doing that, he'd like to come back because he said he enjoyed playing. He just felt frustrated about not
because
knowing
the
anything.
lore. There's so much lore, and he's kind of got
Right.
thrown in on the
So
deep end.
he might be willing to come back as a player.
Yes, we could also shift the game timing if we could find a better time that um which I know we have to keep an eye on. Keeping an eye. Yeah. So yeah, the idea is yes, you're one. Yeah. Now at this point, you're already pretty much at. If I recall, you had one warp jump left, and if you had more than that, you have one warp jump away now because um, yeah,
Isn't
not one warp
everything
jump, but
one
one more
warp
week in
chunk
the
away?
warp essentially.
Wait,
So
okay.
you have like a few days left. You're about to come out of the warp in, and plus once you set the course, it's really hard to change course mid warp. Now Farina is good at what she does. She could probably pull it off, but and she had the
Who?
Astronomicon for this one, so you know. But the it is uh, known to be now that you're already here, you might as well poke around here first.
Sure.
Then go from there. But you still have 1 week in the warp. So now that we have all of background info dump, do you want to roll the first roll of the game, which is the one more week in the warp roll?
No,
One of you has to. Uh,
do we? Do we?
I can roll it on your behalf. You want me to roll it? You want to trust the DM's dice? Let's see. I have. Let's see. These ones are pretty sure they're a cozy gamer set. You go for it.
Oh,
You
we're
want?
gonna. All right.
No. You roll it. You roll it. It's just you were being all like, don't want to roll it, and I'm like, well, I can roll it ahead of you, but yeah, these are for.
What is a 72?
It is not possessed servitors. I'll tell you that much. Let's see.
Oh, we see. That's why. It's because we have such a huge chance of finding something happening in the work that we did.
Oh,
It's not that we have like, oh, there's a
you said a
5% chance.
72 specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, the first few days of the week go by fairly well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's shenanigans. There's
I hope you enjoyed your bed rest,
Oh,
because you're going to get some more apparently.
yeah,
maybe
sounds
not.
like it.
Maybe not. Over the next few days, you hear about a malfunction. There's some rumors you hear, and everyone's like, well, "What's going on? What's going on?" Turns out Karakasawa was missing. It turns out that the block on his door just broke, and so he spent like 14 hours locked in his room, which freaked out all of the meditechs who panicked. But they got it open, and yeah, that was about what happened. And then the next day, he's a little grumpy, but solved. Yeah, that is
Okay.
the extent of the problems of that week, midweek. I shouldn't have told you that. I should have made you go and like sort that out. But I told you already, so it's too late. Um, yeah. The only thing that happens is the lock on a door breaks and locks someone inside a room for 14 hours. That is the extent of problems. And you finally get someone with enough tech skills to open it up. Um, and yeah, nothing bad happens. Entire week. Um, I will say that the everything's fines one are one each. So um um yeah, it is a very low chance that everything's fine, and um you managed it. So the last work of the warp is uneventful. It's a much higher chance on the original chart, I will say. I've just lowered that chance down very much to give you some more excitement and adventure. Um, but you still managed to get the chill option. So, yeah, you coast peacefully through the warp. It's all a little. There's a weird ringing sound, but at that point, it's just all right, fine. And you end up orbiting this planet, uh, Telthara, and there's 2 moons, and yeah, um, there are 2 moons, both of which are industrialized to serve as fabrication bases for various, both of which are demi-industrialized. There's the city proper. There's yeah, and you have um, that. I will say that you found as um, yeah, a lot of the equipment was fabricated. The moon does one of the moons does specialty manufacturing. Um, the other food is more. The other moon is more agricultural, high, intensive scale agricultural. Because of the way it's tidally locked, it can have perpetual sunlight on parts of it, so they have this greenhouse sitch set up, and then the other side is manufacturing. It's uh, yeah, is um, packing and stuff on. It's very much it's tidally locked like Venus, so the same side is always facing the sun, and one side is always facing the planet, and one side is always facing the star that it's orbiting. It's locked in the way it rotates and revolves. Um, the yeah. Um, yeah. Now you can't do request videos, so there. Okay. Um,
That punishes you more than it punishes me. So I give you stuff to do on Saturdays. Thank you very much.
mm, yes, but there is so what is your plan? You got the one moon that has the specialty manufacturing. That's probably where some of the equipment, murder equipment, came from. You have the other moon that does that has these sprawling, like a lot of, uh, um, like half the dark side is just um, living conglomerate quarters. Then you've got the planet itself, which is a thriving hive world full of people. There's Centerport, which is the main. It's the only area where you can get um, officially can come down onto the planet. They allow for shuttles landing, um, and that's the only place on the planet it's legally allowed for shuttle landing. Now there are other places as well. So
So do we have a seneschal on this ship?
we do. You have multiple seneschals on this ship. The main guy is. Let me look at my notes here. Um, your main seneschal is Wexender. He was sent along with Finnick. Finnick would know him. He was the second most powerful seneschal on Captain Helmshell Senior's ship for a while. You actually had a room right across from him. Fun fact when you first came aboard. But sorry, that room was a lot of fun to write. Um, but yeah, um, basically he's the second most powerful seneschal, or he was until he sent the two. Captain Helmshell Senior sent the two of you with your current Captain Helmshell when he got the ship and scooped her from the Forge World Bertland, which she was being tutored on, and put her back on the ship with you two as sort of like um asking you guys to look after her. And you served and did, and then you went to Earth and got fair enough. But my point on that is, um, yeah. So he is served Captain Helmshell Senior. He's old, as soon he's definitely popped a few rejuvenants. He's smart. He knows what he's doing. Um, yeah.
So we came to this system because was it because we tracked the radio frequency, or is it
All of
because we
both the
and
equipment that was used in the um, transmitter was a lot of it was from manufactured on the second moon, and all the people were from there that they mentioned. A lot of the people had mentioned that they were from there.
well, let's go where the try to figure out where the manufacturing where they're manufacturing the equipment, because even if we find the manufacturing equipment, there's probably going to be people related to the manufacturing of equipment that we can interrogate
Sure.
further.
Um. So yeah, he kind of is pulls up the database on what he knows and what you found, and points out the second moon as a specialty assembly of communication satellites and other short range and long range communication. It won't go the long range of having an actual astropath who can ping thoughts and receive astropathic messages, but it generally, for system wide ranges or shorter, it's a good solution. Even have the extra um, extra strength ones that can go from like Oort clouds out. Um, Intersystem takes years, so but can do broadcast to um, farther out. Light speed is always kind of clunky when you have space. Um, so the only way to communicate is to get something faster. Speed of thought is the only way to really pull that off. But speed of thought or traveling on as notes or some physical form on a ship through the warp are the only way to get other way to do it. Um, but that's why you have an astropath. Yeah. So, but yeah, they specialize in system wide and intraplanetary and system wide communication networks. And yeah, they do specialty work. The moon has the big manufactorum there, and they do have a spot where you can land shuttles, so you can go down to the moon, and they have an office, an inquiries office for inquiries relating to putting it together. And as part of their advertising, they have a little bit of a circling transmitter that admits their sales pitch. So as you go up to the moon, you ping and the signal comes through. Welcome to Delgar's manufacturing on the second moon of Telthara. We specialize in all of the best short range and mid range communication solutions, including but not limited to intersystem, intrasystem, uh, intraplanetary, short range, several kilometers, small range comm beads, and all the way out to outer Oort cloud back to planet two-way relays. If you would like to come down and consider a solution for yourself or are looking to have a setup or pickup, please go to our inquiry office, which is located just south of the equator, where there is, if you'll notice, from above you will be able to scan a small beacon, and they give you the code for the beacon. Thank
Are
you
we
for your
talking to a
consideration.
live person, or is this a
No, it's a
automated
recording.
message?
Yeah, it's a recorded message, and then it starts over again. Welcome to Galdar's manufacturing, located on the second moon of the planet Telthara.
Right, we got it. Okay, all right. So, how many people can we fit on a shuttle? 6? Is that what it was?
6, 7, depending on which flyer, which one you take.
Okay. Well, obviously, we need a pilot,
Okay.
and we got Phoenix and I, so that's three. I want the Seneschal there.
All right. You want Max Sender?
Uh, do we have any tech people?
Lots of tech people. What kind of specialty tech people are you looking for? Also, they're gonna start.
Communications. I mean, we're not going to do robot. I mean, it's not robotics. We're looking for communications people,
All right.
and then a medic. I mean, that's.
All right. Do you want Andre or do you want a different medic?
I'm okay with a different medic.
Okay. Um.
I've been nice to him, but I don't need to like have him follow us around.
All right. So you can get. Let's see.
Nice since we got back. I mean, since the incident.
Do you want
Oh,
not Dr. Kane's, or do you want one of the cutters?
Dr. Kane's fine. She was the one with us on the server tour Death World, right? Death platform that
Yes.
we went to.
Yeah. And you saved her life. So yeah. All right. So the shuttle we've got.
she said mine, so.
There you go. You got pilot. Okay, then you've got Finnick. Then you have Johan. Then you have not Dr. Kane's. For those uh, in back up, hey, I do try to look and not look it down all the time. I know that's gonna be a bug. For those of you new to this, the whole saga, she was a doctor. Well, I'll tell you about it later. You got not Dr. Kane's, and who else do you want? You can have Nolan with the flamethrowers if you want to have that. You wanted tech people, yes?
I wanted a tech person that specializes in communication equipment,
Okay.
and I wanted the seneschal
Oh
so
yes.
that he could introduce us
Right.
properly. It would probably be nice to have someone who had a personality higher than 30 amongst us. A fellowship, right?
Fellowship of higher than 30. I do I have his stats?
Meanwhile, the shell has like 10.
No, he has decent fellowship. Um, uh, I don't know if I have his stats exactly, but I will. He has a
Oh, hey, I
fellowship.
have higher than a 30. I have a 33.
He has a 40. I'm.
Well,
I'm
that's why I'm asking for him, not for me, because I know he would have higher than me.
okay. I'm declaring it now, and if I find the stats, if I do find uh, yes. So there's that. Oh, that's for out. Okay. Sorry. There's a number of planets. Exciting stuff. Okay. So yes. So he has. You have Flexender. Your Seneschal. So you have a Seneschal. Yes. We're back. Sorry, we had an ad break and we had to run through it. So if anyone was watching who wasn't subscribed, they would have had the ads. But yes, they. Um, so far that's 6. You can have one more if you want a guard or a. Do you want a guard?
Yeah, we want to go.
Just standard, or you want flamethrower?
Flamethrower. I mean,
Okay,
when is a flamethrower not good to have with you?
there you go. Okay, so their loadout includes not Dr. Kane's, who had to drop out of medical school to join the crew because her brother got involved in some ugly stuff, but ultimately turned in the people who were actually heretics because he wasn't an actual heretic, and but still got legal trouble. You have Finnick and Johan. You have a young man named James Kaysen, who is your pilot for the day. He's one of dozens on the crew who's trained in piloting, who has agreed to help. You have Dr. Cange, you have a young man named Maurice, who you guys haven't met yet, but he's an NPC. He is the one who maintains the comm beads. And, you know, that's his specialty. He keeps the ship's intercom system going. He knows a little bit about short range communication. You have Rollis Wexender, who is your main seneschal. He helped negotiate the peace deal back on Aplasia. He is smart. He's been at the crew since the beginning. He knows his stuff. Probably like 10 rejuvenant treatments. He's old. And then Nolan, who is fairly young and has a penchant for flamethrowers and is well beloved of the crew, of the players. He is an NPC of some skill, and he's clever and knows what he's doing. So there's that. Yeah.
Left, you're right. He's done like how many adventures now?
Yeah, you wanted flamethrower, so I gave you Nolan, and then he kind of stuck around. So yes. Oh, I can change it to. Anyway. So you're on the second moon. You're going down to the second moon to talk to the Delgar's manufacturing. You're going to their inquiry office, presumably. You have a beacon telling you where to go. They say, for any questions, please head to the inquiry office. Playing on loop. And yeah. So you head down. I guess I probably should double check. Yeah, he's fine. Okay. He gets you down safely. And asks, should I stay with the shuttle or you want me to. I mean, I don't exactly have anything, but I can carry a las gun. I kind of can shoot. Or you want me to stay with the shuttle?
Who said that?
The pilot.
The pilot.
Stay with the shuttle, just in case we have to.
Gotcha. Yep, and he kind of. You can see he has pulled out a little novel pad of little data slate that he has. Okay, so.
Is he playing Snake on it?
No, he is reading something. His words.
Okay.
You could. I don't know if you really wanted to peek into what he's reading or just let him read. Okay.
No, he's good.
Okay. So. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, so you head. So basically, you head down. There's a line, a setup where everyone has these landing pads all lined up for shuttles, and then it's domed over. There basically is a airlock attachments. No, yeah, because it doesn't have any air. Essentially, what they have is airlock attachments. You pull the shuttle up to the side, and there's there's a setup where you to create a temporary airlock that are fairly highly compatible. If they aren't, you have to basically do vac suits, and they have a secondary one for if you need to go out in vac suit because the compatibility is not there. But yeah, you set up the compatible. It has very thin atmosphere. Not breathable or anything, but not hard vacuum either. And so you manage to set up a rough temporary airlock that lets you go out. And it comes into this tube that this big hallway that is set up with these gorgeous posters of various like technical, like they're like textbook illustrations of internal guts of various radios and stuff, but like really pretty and well done, and of historical models from various epochs. It's like tastefully art. Uh, yeah. Uh, so you have you're there, and you have the entire hallway lined with this tasteful art. And
Are there a lot of people here, or is it just like an
um,
empty hallway? Or
there doesn't seem to be anyone, but there is an arrow pointing you. Um, there's an arrow drawn on the floor, bright pink, nice and go that way.
that's a handy little bit
Yeah,
of technology. Well, let's
yeah,
follow the pink arrow, guys.
yeah. And comes up. You're kind of in. It's domed off, and there is definitely atmosphere in here. It's breathable. It is very thin though. Um, and it's kind of cold. But then you come up to this gorgeous, this big double door with a sign above it. Welcome to the Delgar Manufacturing Inquiry Center. Um, please ring the bell for service. And they have a little button that presumably rings a bell inside.
Seneschal,
It wouldn't bother me if I didn't look it
the
up.
honors and press the bell.
Those little docking things that they hook up. It's called a service umbilical.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I had to look it up. It was going to bother me if I didn't.
yeah. They have service umbilicals, and if those don't compat properly with your shuttle, they're
Anyway.
not fully enclosed, but um, it's not like hard vacuum outside either. It's just very thin, barely breathable. So if and cold, so you can survive for enough to get through. But yeah, service umbilical worth noting. I won't write that down. Yes, with external vac suit in and out airlock setups for if you can't make your shuttle compatible with that. Umbiblicals. But yeah, you're in the tunnel. You push the bell, and a cheerful female voice says, "Welcome to Galgar's Manufacturing. How may I help you today?"
Is it a person saying that to us?
Do you think so?
Another recording.
What is it, like a disembodied voice?
Well, it comes from a small speaker above the bell, but you're not sure if it's someone that's live on the other end or it's just a recording. Welcome to Galgar's Manufacturing Inquiry Center. How may I help you today?
Seneschal, introduce us.
Yes. My name is Wallace Wexender. I am an agent on behalf of Captain Helmshull, a rogue trader of some note, and we are here to ask about a specific system. May we come in? Oh, absolutely, Mr. Wexender. Please wait while I open the door. And the door opens.
I hailed machine gun fire, and that was the end of this.
No auto gun fire or anything. It opens, and you see a well-appointed waiting room, with like, I think Rococo chick is the technical term. Just gaudy, not actual gold, but like gold-colored, you know, uh, with these chair like these overstuffed chairs kind of set up and the plants, you don't know if they're alive or not, but they just two big plants inside of this desk, um, with this young blonde woman there, kind of, well, she is, you guys wouldn't know, but she's very, very well, she has a lot of cosmetics and jewelry and very not so much clothing. What she has is very nice. It's just not so much of it. And uh, her teeth are perfectly white and straight. And yeah, but you just come in this. There's a lot of gold. You're like, okay. And like kitschy like flowers and little knickknacks. It's very, very much an aesthetic.
You know what they need to finish and round that off?
Mm.
Diamonds.
I mean, you could make the pitch. They do have a number of stones that you're pretty sure aren't actually diamonds, but they're shiny. Um, yeah, But she said, "Oh, there are a lot of you. Welcome. Please come sit."
Well, of course, we're the Rogue Traders retinue, and we're here on her behalf.
Oh, excellent. We have all sorts of solutions. Perfect for the rogue trader on the go. Um, uh, uh, what were you looking for exactly? What sort of system were you hoping to get?
Well,
Or did
let
you
me
need
get to the
maintenance,
important
request?
part first, and that is, are those plants real?
Yes, there is species known as peace lilies that actually come from old Terra themselves. Herself, they're from Terra herself. They're actually an ancient species. Well, okay, they're a clone of them, but they grow very well in low light. And
Thank you.
mhm,
Yes. Well, we have. It's been brought to our attention that some of your devices have been used for nefarious purposes, for fomenting rebellion on some of our Lord Emperor's planets, which is, as I'm sure you're aware, not in to his liking.
we have full loyalty to the Emperor, and we do not hold any responsibility for what people do with our systems once they're out of our hands. We have waivers that
That's
everyone signs. That
that's true. Or we're not accusing you of being a part of this part, but we are hoping that you may be able to help us track down who is.
um, we do have records.
That would be a good start.
Okay. I'm not the person to talk
Could
to.
I interest you in a donut?
Oh, I am supposed to be watching my figure, but I suppose one wouldn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt that I'm watching your figure, does it?
And she just kind of giggles. Oh, you're being silly. Oh, they do look good. All right, I'll have one. Okay.
He will hand her a donut. There's nothing like bribing the secretaries to get them on your side.
Yeah, that's fair. Mm. Oh, these are
Donuts.
good. There's actually a really good donut place. I miss it so much.
Did I mention I made those myself?
Really?
I am somewhat of a chef when it comes to donuts.
I feel like you should have to roll a just like a bluff check for that one.
Why I am. I've got ranks in cooking.
Did you actually start making donuts on the ship?
Yeah. Remember, I took the
Well, I
lore and
know.
I took
I know you took donut lore, but or culinary lore with a specialty in donuts, but
what you
I'd
you
assume.
think you think that was all that spare a month of spare time on a ship with nothing to do besides.
I mean,
I mean,
I'm not
what's
saying.
better, reading a book about donuts or cooking your own donuts and eating them?
I will say it is a masterable skill. I've done it as a DM.
I know, and you're pretty good at it. So,
Mm, but
and you didn't even have books like he did.
that's fair. I had a photo. I had a photograph of a book from my father that I used. No. All right. Donut. Okay.
Well,
Um.
if it's true, then it might just be a charm test.
Yeah. There you go. Roll the charm test.
Don't know what I wrote for a charm test.
So let's see. Let me look at Johan's character sheet real quick. I
It's a
believe.
basic skill, so if you don't have it, you have to roll under half of whatever your.
Well, see, this is the unfair part is I don't have a character sheet, so I don't know what I took since the initial
Right.
character was created.
Right. I know you have donut lore. That's fair. You did raise, I believe, your fellowship a bunch, right?
I raised a lot of my stuff. Like it says here that my agilities or my ballistics is 48, and I know it's like 63 or something like that now. It's something crazy,
Wait, hang on.
but I don't know. So I mean, if I'm just going with what I got here,
58. Yeah, 63 would have been 3 advances.
that sounds about right.
Okay.
I mean, I know I did at least two.
Yeah, it was 63 would have been 3. Alright. I will give you your full fellowship. As it's, let's see, 33. Yeah. So, I will give you full 37 for fellowship. Try to roll under a 37, essentially.
Do I get any bonuses for bringing props?
I will say, I would say a plus 20 donut bonus because donuts are delicious.
That's fair enough. Do I, oh, she was not amused by my donuts. She was really not amused. Apparently, she has a gluten allergy and did not tell
No,
me
it's
that
just
beforehand.
that
she probably should have mentioned that.
she doesn't have any allergy, but she says, I'm good, but you should really try Miss Thumbie. It's not nearly as good.
I am new to the whole donut industry. So I'll he takes out like a little notepad, writes down what she said. Oh, okay, yeah, thank you. Always good to have
The
new tip.
glaze, yeah, the glaze is a little. It's a weird texture and it doesn't stick well. Like you want a glaze that doesn't come off in your hands the right. You know what I mean? But
He
yeah,
looks at her and winks, and he goes, "I do."
He made the glazed himself too.
I mean, you're not gonna glaze donuts with other people, obviously. But yeah, she says go to Domia's, which is, but you did get. Now you know the best donut place on the surface.
I write that down in my little notebook too. I have like a little tiny little notepad.
Yeah, but they're not as nearly as good at that. And she's kind of miffed about that, but she does. Um, so she's a little disappointed. Um, but uh,
Well, since we're headed that way,
yes, but she does
if
call in their uh uh Tommy, can you come here? We have people, rogue traders, which is one step above, up one step below an inquisitor, and they want to know the records. Can you come in and talk to them? Thank you. Um, yeah,
if you could, maybe put in a good word for us, you know, since we're heading towards that donut shop anyway, maybe I could, procure some because we have to come back this way anyways. Maybe I can, arrange for some tasty treats to make it your way.
she considers that. Really shouldn't be eating donuts anyway.
Is there something else you'd prefer?
Nah. Talk to Tomia. Tomia is the one that you want to talk to. Here, sit if you want. And kind of gestures to the chairs. They are weirdly comfortable if you do want to sit, but you don't have to.
Sure. Okay. All right, guys, let's make ourselves comfortable until
uh,
our guide arrives.
yeah. So
I'm just imagining this guy with a heavy flamer just sitting there trying to get comfortable in a chair in a waiting room. He's got a big old flamer sitting in his lap. Oh, sure.
yeah. No, they only manages kind of sits, but it is perilously balanced. Okay. But yeah, they have the a short individual comes out like 5'1" in like a very sharp suit, sharp blue, like different shades of blue with like a tie and a pocket, like a waistcoat and a suit, and they're like slightly different shades of blue, complementary with the pocket square and the tie that are slightly they go but don't match, like the perfectly like and like blue toned shoes, the whole ship, two-tone shoes. Um, you asked to see me?
Yes. Wait, you're supposed to be you're the one we're supposed to meet?
I'm Tomia.
Oh, I thought you were his son. Oh, okay. Yes, you're pleasure to meet you.
Drea Tomia. Please. You wanted records, right? You want
Yes,
trading for?
we need for records for any of your machinery that's been sent to this location here. And I show them the interstellar map. If I can I do that? I don't know if
I
I can.
mean, I'm sure one of you has a pocket cartographer, right? Mm.
Yes, maybe I don't know.
It's
No.
pretty a pocket cartograph is it's like what
Yeah.
3 requisition from
Oh,
blueprint.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly doable. Kind of beckons you back into his their office, and their office is kind of set up. Uh, it's very small and cramped, and there's only 3 chairs, and um, the desk is meticulously organized. Set the
Mhm.
cartograph here. Let me see. Again, you wanted shipped to a particular location.
We wanted communication devices that were
Shipped
sent to us.
specific location.
Mm-hmm.
Where was this location?
Now there's a couple locations. There's this on this moon here, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's another one here on this planet that was receiving the information from
That's
this
off the
communication.
edge of the map slightly, I believe. Is that Imperial territory?
Technically, yes.
I personally do not know.
Technically, yes, it is.
Hmm. Let's see.
It's
I.
a recent territorial acquisition.
Hmm. I see. And the systems are. You said there was a second one on what, a moon in the system?
I point
That's
out
right.
the moon.
Couple plans out. Okay. I. We don't do installations. We do. I mean, we have installation team, but we're limited to a handful of systems with easy warp routes. This is outside our jurisdiction, which means you would have had to do client would have had to do a manual install themselves. They would have had to bring in their own team. That's the rule. Now, if you had serial numbers or uh, something, I might be able to help you. But
Didn't we grab the devices themselves?
yes, you did take memory cores, if I recall
Okay. Well,
correctly, that you were pulling.
hold on, just a moment. Odette, dear darling, are you there?
What happened? Did you get in trouble? You didn't get arrested, right?
No, but you might want to send an emergency team. I think Phoenix down, Medics down, the Flammers down. No, nothing bad happened. I need. Remember the communication device that we took from the planet?
The one you took
From
from the
the moon?
planet or the
Yeah.
one you took from the moon?
Either one. It doesn't matter. I just need the serial numbers from them so that we can give them to the
All right.
man in charge here.
Let me bring this to that. Okay, let me go kind of size. All right, let's down to the lab. Tex, isn't Maurice with you? Didn't you have him figure this out?
Who?
Maurice, the tech. He's the one that maintains the earpieces. The only reason we can talk to you is
The
because
com. Yeah, but he's here, not there.
All right, put him on.
I'll say, hey, Odell would like to speak to you.
And he kind of taps. Maurice here. Um, I'm glad the ship to surface is working. Um, what did you need? I need your lab. What am I looking for?
Serial numbers.
I know that. I'm asking him because he's here. Which piece? There's a dozen different.
Well, I'll ask the blue suited man. Which serial number?
Kind of looks up. Um, what do you have in terms of technology, and what is it that they installed? You're not giving me extra work with here.
Yeah. Well, so I will say that. Well, our comm guy is sitting here. You got to remember, Lee, that I have as much information in real
Right.
life as that guy has. So
Yes.
I don't really know what I'm
Maurice clears the
looking
store.
for.
Yes, there was there was the ground based receiver, which was I believe wasn't on you because it was pretty generic model. Definitely not anything specialty. The transmitter though was, and it would have worked. You know, they're cross compatible, obviously. It's technically there's priorities. Everyone knows there's priority, and you can get around those easy. And Antonio just kind of gives him a look, just shrugs. Okay, the transmitter that you pulled should be, that's the specialty piece. It should be up third shelf. If you go straight into the back of the workshop, and there's the 3 shelves in the back. It's the last one. I put a little piece of red string next to it because I was working on it. Yeah, I see it. It's weird and kind of gangly metal shaped. That's just the in. That's just the inseam. Johann yanked the memory core, but the memory core should have been cross-assembled by the same people. Would have been best compatibility. So unless they're doing some sort of weird custom job, it should be, you should be able to look up the part serial number for that one and have manufacturing data for it at the very least. Tommy says probably. What's your um uh and says 877 um 91 uh 83 dash alpha niner 4 beta. And okay, let me see my cogitator database. Kind of puts it into the cogitator database, and they run up a list of all the matches. Okay, that was a that batch was 13 months ago. Those are communication. That was our core memory extenders. Let's see. It's a transport booster. There should be a secondary piece. Uh, those usually come with a secondary piece attached. That would give us the exact. If you have a manufacturer serial number for that one, you should be able to cross check that with the one and find the exact piece. Should be small, round. How to explain this? And Adet kind of looks it over. There's one that's kind of mangle looking here. Is it? Oh, there's the number. Um,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 3, 4, 5, 7. Close though. Um, and so leaves it out. Kind of blinks. Cross correlate. All right, there were 2 that were sold with those 2 pieces. 2 systems, part of 2 system sets. If you can find a third, otherwise I give you 2. They were purchased months apart. Oh, one of them was 10 years ago. So unless your system was believed to have been older, it's probably this one here. Let's see. It was a year and a half ago. Put together, purchased by one. Sethwim Haldick, I believe. Does the name ring any familiarities?
Not a character, not to me, no.
Let's see. And Seneschal says, hang on. Name does sound vaguely familiar. Do you check identification when purchasing? And Domino kind of shrugs. No, not particularly. Why? We have a rigorous screening process, but it mostly involves um, the technicians that they send and whether they actually know how to install these things, so that we can gauge that it's not going to end badly. I don't cross-check names. Why? It says, that might be not a false name as such. Uh, Actual person, just believe someone borrowed the name from, um, yeah. Um, yeah, I believe someone borrowed the name. Um, yes, I believe someone was using it as a false name, rather. Uh, Probably because it was on the top of their mind. Uh, so, yes, that is actually very interesting, and that is definitely our person. Whether they actually are Haldeck is probably false, but they definitely are the people who are trying to mess with us. That is the ones we are looking for. Do you have any contact information for this Mr. Haldeck? Uh, we had the name of an astropath who was associated with him. Um, we need to call in for an astropathic relay. Would that be helpful? Finnick, you would know that uh, naming an astropath, like a name and a very specific kind of thought pattern that you could be relayed, is a way to kind of make sure your message gets to the right person without having to. Um, yeah, it is. It is. It's kind of a way of getting. The thing is, if that astropath were to leave the service of whoever um, was had said that, it would go to them instead of to whoever that was. So it either is specifically this astropath can be moved, like moves around, or is like known in on the whole system, or is very very likely not to be swapped out. It's usually imperial offices, uh, people who are, in far areas where like remote planets where they're not well known, but but they're very secure in their have imperial backing. Of course, you can have non-imperial astropaths, but then you're drawing attention to the specific astropath, and if they're not sanctioned, that becomes a problem. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, you could actually send a message this and ping it out into the choir, trying to get it to this particular astropath, and it would, you know, the way interstellar message, the astropathic choir works, you could get it out there, and maybe even get a reply. But
Where is this person? They said like they gave a location. Yes.
um, no, he did not. They have no listed as being from uh, being on a ship. that it was ship based and had no planetary office, and that there was no ship planetary office, no ship based, and had a name of an astropath as a contact point.
Okay, yeah, then I would not be able to contact them.
I mean, you could ping out and see if you can't.
No, I mean like based on the distance, the psi rating you would need to get to
No,
like, for example, somewhere else in the subsector is
no,
psi
you
rating
absolutely would not
10.
be able to
I can't.
contact them directly, but you would be able to send out the same way that all astropathic messages get sent out as a ping, and then they get passed astropath to astropath to astropath, whoever's around, they get pinged out, and it'll find them eventually, essentially. That's how that, works.
Okay, I was going off the book.
Right, the book is, yeah, no, you can absolutely not contact them directly if they're not in this subsector. That is true. But for practicality of, you know, that's why the astropath choirs exist. Like as a practicality, it's very clearly stated in the lore that that's how it goes because Finnick is very powerful for an astropath, right? Um, yeah, essentially anything longer ranges is pinged um, astropath to astropath sent alone.
Or you use a group of them and
Yeah,
have multiple send the message at once.
right. That's another method, but yes. Um, yeah, but yes, you can. If you have a single astropath, you can ping relay it along various channels. That's kind of the whole point of things. So yeah, you could send a message to anywhere in the Imperium. You just couldn't send a message directly to anywhere in the Imperium. Directly, you would be limited to what, a planet or two. Depends on what your exact specialty is. Um, and if you don't know generally where they are, it becomes that much harder to send a message along. But you could just kind of send it out there and hope it gets to them eventually. It will probably find its way to them eventually. It's just a matter of time. Yeah. And sometimes that's time you don't have, but, it's still faster than sending speed of light out to try to contact someone in another system. Uh, Although the ship does have, it said, hang on, the ship was, um, let me just, um, yes, hang on, yes, not the Jericho Reach, it's the, I need to find a map of the Imperium because there's a very specific, it's not the Jericho Reach, um, Kronos Expanse, that's the one. That was the one, and there's a specific planet, um, oh yes, Port Wander. Their their ship was registered or had been it was Port Wander was where their ship was. Uh, um, yeah, they mentioned their ship was registered with Port Wander, which means that they are Rogue Trader adjacent. Because that's the only way you can get out into the Kronos Expanse, and the only people who really go out into the Kronos Expanse are Rogue Traders. You don't have to as a Rogue Trader, but it is kind of the prerogative of them to go out there. So, you know, that is. So here's. And Alexander says, a port a ship. Let's see, a ship that is set in Port Wander is not a ship that belongs to Sethwem Haldic. There's no way. Also, when you said it was 4 months previous, a year and a half, kind of gives a nod. I believe a year and a half ago, Sethwem Haldic was taking up uh, a contract on Grelth and was not here. So somebody else is using that name. But it is interesting that whoever it is using that name was almost certainly wouldn't have learned it unless they'd also hired him to be on Grelth. Yes? That's a logical conclusion? Kind of turns to Johann and Fennec, expecting you to weigh in on that.
I mean, maybe.
Huh. Well, alright then. That's all the information you have? Not when you said a year and a half ago. What else was purchased at the time? Was there a whole order? And he kind of looks, and they kind of look through the notes and like, I can look up the order number. That was an entire setup array. A full set array. This was the memory core was just a small part of it. Looks like they purchased uh, boost transmitter. So within the system, about a halfway, probably a no more than the 4 or 5 planets away. Actually, could go a little further with the extra boost. Especially if you had a skilled technician, you could work that depending on how often you were running it and how specific you and if you're using broadband or specific, trying to keep encrypt things and such. But it kind of looks, yeah, I would think probably installed a large installation with this transmitters. The number of data banks too. A very large. You would need a large setup to make this work, but um, almost certainly a whole facility, if not, a few rooms at the very least. You just pulled a part of it. The memory core would have been attached. Yeah, the way the transmitter fed through would have been secondary memory cores and all sorts of things. Would be at least a few rooms in a facility of some class. Kind of messed up. I can't tell you much more. Um, Other than they did actually purchase the receiver as well. A small, uh, a small model. Kind of glances at Maurice because they do actually work better in tandem and aren't. Uh, while they are hypothetically cross compatible, we do have proprietary, all sorts of proprietary things that help that make the reception clearer. Okay, I was wrong. They have a receiver too, so they got them all from you. Probably convenience more than actual cross compatibility, but sure. If you want to believe your proprietary stuff is actually proprietary, go ahead. And Kondo is glaring at him. It's like there's just kind of this intense setup. Um, do you need me to? Do we need anything else? Is that what we came to figure us out? We have a name, we have a time frame, and we know they didn't do the installation.
So I'm going to look at the blue suited guy. So did you meet these clients?
Uh, Personally, no. I don't meet with clients. I do records.
So who do you know who would have dealt with him?
Through. Uh, Looks like it was Ashel was our sales representative for that particular case.
All right. Would you be willing to escort us there so that we can meet with this person?
Kind of just a sigh. Push the
Look
intercom.
here, yeah, young man. We represent a rogue trader. We're not just some random pirates off the asteroid belt. You would do well to remember that we're doing this for the Empire, not for personal
Imperium.
gain.
Imperium.
Just,
Just
she just
as
Johan
you,
just gives him a look. Yeah, whatever.
you kind of sigh. Yes, I know for the Imperium. And clicks a button. Uh, do we have Ashel on the floor today? He's uh, yeah, he doesn't have a client, but yeah, Ashel's on the floor. Send him in to my office, please. Tell him that we have a rogue trader here with a loaded bolt pistol, and that if he doesn't show up, things will go badly.
Two of them.
And
But it's not me you need to worry about. It's this guy. And he looks over at the guy with the flamethrower.
Nolan kind of perks his head up and clicks it. And kind of clears the door. Oh, yep, I sent for him. He's coming.
Excellent.
Uh,
Want a donut?
he just kind of looks. No, thank you.
I'm gonna use my mind and levitate one of them over to me.
All right, you have a donut. Well, I'm guessing you bought a box of like a dozen.
Yeah.
Well,
So, so Finnick, what I'm thinking is that it would help us if we could get a mental picture of this guy. Do you think you could extract that from our sales rep and sales rep's mind?
So you just want to know what it looks like?
And any information that you can get about the client.
Fair enough.
So that way, because even if they give us a fake name, perhaps we can find some records, someone who has records on the planets of individuals. I'm sure all these planets keep track of their citizens, right? I would
um,
think.
Hive worlds tend to have, yes, better ID systems than most. So you probably have something like uh something like New York, any big major American city where yes, you need an ID for 90% of anything they want to see
So,
ID. So most people have them.
so,
Um,
so the point is that even if he gave us a fake name, his picture
a
might
photo
be able
ID,
to be
you could
used.
reference it against a photo ID database, assuming that, okay, yes, this particular planet will let you have access to the photo ID database if you ask nicely your rogue traders. That's assuming this guy was from this planet. He has a ship that's registered in Port Wander, so the odds that he's actually from this planet are, I mean, not impossible,
Yeah,
but
but the records are false. He gave a false name, anyways, right? So I'm not. We don't
yes,
know. We don't know where he's from or anything, but we don't have any clues
right.
outside of a fake name.
So, yeah, aside of a fake name that belongs to a real person who also had worked against who you had dealt with personally, which
Well, then
is interesting.
couldn't we do rogue? Are rogue traders required to keep a roster or like like a of their employees?
Um, Most do have a crew roster. However, you're not legally required to make them publicly available. So while you
Right.
probably have a um, list for your ship, finding a list for someone else's another rogue trader ship would be a
Right.
backroom deal between their seneschal and yours or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not impossible, but highly unlikely. And then yeah, there's no publicly recorded database you can just search for that.
Well, I'm not an inquisitor, so I'm not great at ferreting out secret information.
Fair. Um,
So if you guys have any Seneschal, do you have any suggestions in your
an
vast experience of
uh,
serving a road trader?
an image would be helpful. Um, I would say if you can find some records on the astropath, left as a contact point, would be uh, almost certainly an actual astropath, and if they're sanctioned, there are records. We might have to pry a little bit, but I know some people. We could pry into that. That would be my guess as to a better, a more sensible avenue of. We could also track down. I don't think we ever actually asked Haldeck who hired him. I believe it was um, the Catholic family. So we maybe would assume that it was the Catholic family, at least
Wait,
start
am
with
I
that.
speaking to the blue guy or the blue
He's
suited
speaking to
guy
you.
or
He's speaking to you.
okay, the blue suited guy speaking to me?
No, the seneschal is. Sorry,
Oh,
is telling you that you could track down the astropath. You could go and see what you could find with the Catholic family. It's probably safe to assume that the Catholic family is a little behind some of this, at least. Um, although they're not fermenting rebellions, kind of up for them, so that might be a little much. But if you could prove it, that would be ideal. But um,
the Catholic family is a cat
a
is
group of rogue traders whose um, their grandfather and Captain Helmshul Senior's father um, got into a bit of a spat, and so there's two Catholic brothers who are captain, each have a captaincy, and a bunch of sub grandchildren as well. But Captain Helmshul Senior's father and Catholic Senior got into a petty argument, and absolutely it was the Catholic his fault, uh, and he betrayed um, Helmshul Senior, and the two families have been enemies ever since. Essentially, um, the rivalry has spanned a few generations so far, and it's
So Hatfields and McCoys.
kind of yes. Rogue traders have a lot of enemies like this, and so yeah, they there's a lot of enmity between them. Um,
I've game. I'm asking, how many rogue traders are there?
uh,
Like, is it thousands? Is it
Probably millions.
How many?
Probably millions.
well, families probably in the high 100,000, low million, which sounds like a lot until you consider the size of the Imperium. Like they probably are 0.01% of the population of the Imperium has a warrant, is linked to someone with a warrant of trade, which includes stuff like you guys, where you're.
Point oh one of the population. That's a lot. I mean, you like 0.01 percentage of the Earth would be. You still have like thousands of rogue traders just for Earth.
Maybe not 0.01%.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be that high. No.
Yeah. It's probably like.
Well, we don't need
It's
an exact
it's
measurement, but
one in a billion.
I get
I would say
I get what you're saying.
one out of every billion humans is involved somehow with a rogue trader's crew. Now, if you have a few trillion, population of the Imperium is at
And there's
least a few
billions
hundred
on some
trillion.
individual planets.
Well, it is in the billions, not the millions, but I don't think it hit trillions yet. But my
Hive
point is
worlds.
Oh yeah, hive worlds. Well, for
Yeah.
population, yes, the hive worlds are like the ones jack up billions planet wise. Yeah, so I would say you're looking at maybe in the tens of millions. Individually registered, rogue traders, tens of millions. But compared to the population of the Imperium, that's chump change. You know what I mean? If
So,
that
like,
makes sense.
how often do you run into them?
Most 80% of the Imperium probably never. Especially the closer you get to, like, not Terra Core, maybe some in the Segmentum Solar, the very core. You probably have a few, but the farther out toward the edges you are, the more likely you are to run into them. Just because that's the whole thing with rogue traders, is that they can go beyond, um, and the way space is 3 dimensional, you're always going to find a few rogue planets here and there that aren't hooked up to the Imperium. But part of what rogue traders can do, and that's what their warrant of trade allows them the freedom to do, besides have almost guaranteed cooperation from planetary governments and such, is that it allows them to go outside the Imperium, leave the bounds of the Imperium, and, crucially, come back in. Anyone can leave the bounds of the Imperium, but coming back in, that's the tricky part. You can't go and then come back out, because then you're corrupted by chaos, and obviously you have to die. Because, who knows what you've done out there. But rogue traders who have warrants of trade can go and come and go as they please. They can make deals with Xenos or independent empires out there, as long as they're willing to stab them in the back with the Inquisition later, when the Imperium itself gets up to conquering that far. Yeah, they can gather Xenos artifacts. They can, from wherever they might find them, and sell them on, legally. They have free access to go out beyond the Imperial territory. Um, Not only that, but if they incorporate planets, either within the Imperial territory but um, undiscovered, or outside the Imperial territory back into Imperial territory, they can claim ownership, claim, you know, yeah, they can settle planets for the Imperium. They can create settlements. They can, build. Yeah, that's why it's such a big thing, is the ability to go beyond. That's what rogue traders have that no one else gets. But
Okay. So I was just wondering, like it. So it seemed like having two rogue traders in one family seemed like a pretty big deal, right?
well, the thing about the warrant of trade is that it's hereditary, so you can pass it down. In fact, most rogue traders didn't earn their own warrants of trade. Um, Captain Helmshell Senior, I think, didn't win his earn his own warrant of trade. Most of them, they're hereditary, so
Mm-hmm.
they're passed down. So it makes sense that you would have a bunch in one family, because they're the ones who get them.
Okay, well, see, that's where I was confused because, like, in the Rogue Trader game, that my Rogue Trader ship has like a big, giant,
It's a
writ of
physical
trade.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a physical thing. So, like, it's not like, oh, I could pass it down to 13
No,
You have
relatives. I could
one,
trust
so then
one
when you
dude.
die, you pass that one down.
fair.
It doesn't
So
scatter.
that's why I'm saying, like, having two Rogue Traders would mean that there were two writs of trade,
They
which
probably only
seems like,
have the one warrant of trade, but I had headcanoned it, I
They
guess.
could
That
have another ship in that
yeah,
fleet, but they
exactly.
wouldn't have.
Because
Yeah.
because you're a
gotcha.
descendant of the rogue trader, you can act on the behalf of whoever your
Oh, sure, sure.
father
Okay.
is. So yeah, Captain Helmshield Senior probably has the actual writ itself, but like the one you have is kind of like it's a tie-in to that one. So that's the one that your Captain Helmshield has, that's tied into that same one, if that makes
Because I want
sense.
to say like the original warrants of trade were all physically signed by the emperor himself back in like
Oh my god.
way back when. So
One
they're like
million
it's
and
like a
one,
holy relic, and it's this huge big deal that it has its
1 million
own
and
vault on the
two,
ship, and
Yeah.
one
So yeah,
million and three.
but
Okay,
yeah,
my
yeah, I know,
arms
Captain
right?
getting
Helmshills
tired.
is yeah, Captain Helmshills is but having there's one main one that goes to the family, and then but descendants can have a secondary one that kind of links into the big one. You know what I mean? As inherited
I
power.
guess we've got like a little Xerox copy on the wall.
Yeah. Well, and it's a
Okay.
notarized copy. Like you have to have official paperwork. But yeah,
It's a Polaroid, and then they got it just tacked onto like a little bulletin board.
it's officially notarized and signed by an administratum officer that yes, you are a descendant of this one warrant of trade holder. Therefore, you have the um household war. The same maintain all the same powers. But if it leads back to that one warrant. So if something were to happen, you could revoke the trade of all of the Helmsholes simultaneously, not just um, Helmshow Senior and who got the warrant of trade, but also from his father, but also all of his scattered. Like there are multiple ships, within run by that have this secondary descendant warrant. So if that if something happened to the main one, it goes both ways essentially. That means all of them lose all rogue trader privileges if it were to be revoked for
So
any reason.
if we took someone else's writ, all that family would lose their rogue traders
I
stuff, right? Because
mean,
we have the original.
I
Capture the
suppose.
flag.
Yeah, I suppose you could if you.
See, that's what they tried to do to us in our first mission. They tried to steal our writ. We had to
Yeah.
stop them.
Dang. No, but I mean you wouldn't carry it, or you would keep it safely guarded, the original safely guarded in like a vault in a on your um
Oh, sure. And that's where ours was.
On your flagship.
yeah,
Mm.
which I believe for the way the helm both the Catholics and the Helm Scholls is one of it's six removed because you have so many descendants spread out in your little
Mm.
fleets. But yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
So your the one your captain has is a secondary one attached to her father's, who is actually his might even be a secondary one attached to his father. His father still no, his father died. He has the original, but his brother has another one that was secondarily attached to it a generation back, which
So, so he's like a Deadpool, and in the Deadpool 2, he's got like Rogue Trader trainee shirt on, jersey.
I no, but yeah, yeah. So the, yeah, the
Seneschal
one
introduced the Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader trainee.
yes, but yeah, the
That's
writ you
little
have is a
little plates on
secondary
the
one.
back of their ship. Learner.
Right.
Oh no, no, you if you were the 2 years after you get your secondary rate, you can take that one off. Oh, but yeah, you are secondarily attached to, technically attached to the Kelmichel Senior, um, and that.
So
So
all this time, I thought we were on like a real Rogue Trader ship.
I mean,
I fell for that one hook, line, but I mean, I guess I didn't really have an option getting off the planet.
well, yeah, yeah. If I, yeah, you would have almost certainly known when
I,
you
I
took the
probably
captain
should
on
have
the ship.
looked closer at that writ.
I mean, you could,
Hey, that's not a like a secondary.
yeah,
Who are
but
you, who are you trying to kid here?
yeah. On the other hand, you got um, you have a lot of the same benefits of having.
So, okay, something that I need, I'm wanting to know about the lore. Again,
Sure.
this kind of relates to the game in the sense that I got this sense that like it's not just the writ, it's the ship itself. Like it's like the combination of the two because this ship is like super duper big, right? It's not just like a normal
I mean, a
ship.
rogue trader can have any kind of ship. They tend to have really good, really big ships just because they're wealthy and powerful and have connections.
Mm-hmm.
But the ship itself is just, you know.
So you could have like a tugboat, and that could be your rogue trader ship.
I
I mean,
mean,
it
yeah,
wouldn't
but
be
if you
very
have,
impressive, but
yeah, but if you have a
it would.
writ of trade, even if it's a secondary one, you have, like, I think Captain Helmshield specifically did not give any, didn't set up, get notarized copies of the writ for his kids until they had ships to put them on, because it's like,
Okay.
this is the flagship of, even if it's a secondary fleet attached to a main fleet, it's supposed to
Okay.
be a decent ship, but it doesn't have, there's no official qualification for it other than practicality of, you can't do rogue trading without a ship, you know what I mean? You need a warp capable vessel,
Sure.
and those are rare enough and difficult to find that,
All right.
but
Thank you for clarifying that for me.
yeah, the ship itself is just whatever ship you happen to have. It's just you're gonna have a nice one because you're rich and powerful. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Captain Helmshield is tied to her father's, but Helmshield Senior, and Helmshield Senior does that specifically, and goes to all the trouble to get these secondary writs for his kids because he's ambitious and he wants to spread the thing. Anyway, uh, so you have the name of the astropath. Um, yes. Also, all right, we got to keep an eye on that. Yeah. So you guys get, yeah. So this has been a lot of lore and um, secondary information dumping. But yes,
We're catching up after a long
a bit
time.
of a hiatus. Yes, I still there's an entire lost one that you where you won the firefight, and which I remember happening, and I have the notes from it. It's just
We discussed this part.
yes, we did. All right. Anyway, point being, if anyone is watching the footage of this later, you won't be able to ever see it because the recording is lost to the winds of the internet. The yes, so you get Ash now comes eventually does come in. Uh Hello and welcome. What can I do for you? Kind of looking up, looking at Nolan, looking at with the flamethrower, looking at Johan, who's definitely packing some weapons. Look at Finnick, who's well, you've got that sanction hood of an actual astropath, like kind of looking between all of you. Um, can I help you procure tech of some class? He kind of looks to Maurice because he kind of recognizes, oh, that's the one who actually um has technical knowledge. What kind of system are you looking to get?
Is that a show?
And Senshal kind of
You
says,
guys.
we weren't looking for a system so much as information, I believe. I think Johan was on to something about an image. Did you have a plan for that?
Oh,
That's the
okay.
name of the house.
We're still talking to. Okay, I thought
Yeah,
we had
Ash.
moved on
No,
past her
Ashnell
to
came.
the.
They brought in the. They brought um,
Gotcha.
Guy.
the
Okay.
guy into the office where you are, and he's kind of asking like, "What can I do for you?" And then Seneshal's like, you said you wanted." As talking to you, kind of like, "Do you said you
Okay.
wanted image? Well, how do you want to do that?" Um,
Well, do you remember we bring up the details about so and so and so and so? You know about the person who came in to
oh
purchase.
yes, yes. Uh, uh, believe he was purchasing on behalf of someone named Haldeck. He was purchasing for Haldeck. He insisted that that name go down because he was purchasing it on his behalf. I remember that's what he said.
Now, you guys, I'm sure you guys keep video records.
We
That would
have
be the easiest way to do this.
security footage. We do have security footage. I don't know how long it's archived, but we do have. Did you want to check the video archives? I'm not the right person for that. Um,
But
I don't have.
you'd be able to point. We need you to be able to point out who we're looking for.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, and
Now, mind you, this is all for the emperor. This isn't just some.
Yes.
shakedown trying to find a guy who skimped out on 20 credits. We're an
Rogue
official Imperium business here.
traders. Rogue traders are. Well, yes, of course, we'll
You've
help.
heard of them, have you not?
Yes, I know what rogue traders are.
Good.
Usually they send the Inquisition if it's not that we need Inquisitors. There's no reason Inquisitors get involved. I think I
Well,
can absolutely help.
we thought you'd prefer us not to send an Inquisitor
I
to start with.
think right. I agree with that assessment. Why don't you come with me? We can go down to the tech logs. I'm sure we have archives. Thank you. Kind of gives a nod. The um, records guy goes back, kind of sits, and just kind of shakes his head. And Ashnell leads you. Um, uh, if you wanted archives of video footage, we have. I believe we have a 2-year archival retrieval. It's
Go
probably
on,
on the edge.
go on, do it.
Right. Come with me, and you're walking and talking. Um,
And we'll give them all the relevant information they need because we do have a time of purchase, so we
yeah,
should.
you have a time, so you should be able to check the timestamps. Um, there is. They go to the video archives, and there's a bored-looking young woman wearing flannel and just looking. Uh
just
huh.
just just to encourage them, I'll say out loud to Finnick. See, we might not even need you to rip the information from their mind.
Kind of links. You can't just rip information from people's brains. That's not a thing you can just do, right?
Sure it is. I've done it before.
Like you see it, try it with me. All right. What do you
You want
need?
me to? We could save
No,
some time.
hang on. What are you
Well, I
looking
mean,
for? I
yeah, I
probably
mean,
didn't even
we
see what
wouldn't
you're
want you
looking
to
for.
waste your time. We could speed this all right up by just like yanking
That
it right
no.
out.
Please let's get the video footage. Coral, please. Told you, call me Co. Don't. All right, give me a sec. Give me a sec. Hold on. What date? I need more information than just video footage. What date? What are you looking for?
Gave you all that information already.
And did you say that? It's like, all right, 6.5. That was 3. That's a long time ago. I guess though, time moves differently when you're off planet and going through systems. Yeah, right on the edge. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right. You're gonna have to huddle around my monitor. I'm not gonna be able to display it or anything.
You can print it out, right? You do have printers. You do
I mean, it's video footage. Yeah, you can't
find.
print a vid.
You can select a good image where we can see the person and print it out. Don't you guys have police or
I mean, technically, it's required that underlie. You know what? You're rogue traders. I will. Oh, I don't know. Hang on. Come here and just see. Point out what you want. Screen.
how can I point out what I don't know what they look like?
Well, come here and see the image, and then you can point out. Look, Ash now. There's Ash now, right? See?
I look at the record.
And
Oh, the records guy. Wait, the records guy was about to leave.
no, Ashnell is the sales rep.
The sales rep. The sales rep is still here, right?
Yeah,
Sales rep.
yeah.
Please point out to your companion here the person that we are
Let me
looking
see
for.
the footage. Hang on. Oh yeah, you got him right there. Pause it there. Pause it there. That's him. That's see. There's me. There's him. I pointed that out to you.
Now, could you be there and find a good, clear picture of who we're looking for and
Still shot.
print it out so that we can give it to our rogue trader so that we can hunt down more information for
Yeah.
her?
Hang on. Hold still. Just gotta get the angle right, or you can't run it through any kind of cogitators don't like it when you images there. That's the one. Um, and she does eventually get you a screenshot of three. Three. She gives you three different screenshots that show the three different uh, people. They have one who said who Eshnal swears was a representative of Seth Wenhaldick, allegedly. Then you have didn't even actually give his own name. Uh, insisted it wasn't important. Interesting little caveat there. Then you have Muscle, big guy. Yeah. And then you have an astropath with them.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. But yes, so we have technically an ad break as well this moment. So everyone stretch. Don't forget to hydrate. Um, and yeah, 30 seconds. You guys are doing all right with the game, yeah? I'm not dragging you down with anything crazy.
Is there anything we're missing here, Finnick, that you can think of?
I the biggest tricky thing here, like we might get an idea of what the guy looks like and whatnot, but we really don't have any leads of how we're gonna locate where they are.
Well,
I don't know that these people are gonna have any information. They're gonna help us figure that out.
Um,
well, here's the thing: is that he's come on and off the planet, right?
yes.
So there's decent chance, and like I'm guessing he probably would have had to have gone through like a what am I thinking of
Customs?
the customs or
Depends on the.
or a record of him being on a ship that landed because
Um, yes, the flyers that land do get registered, so there would be probably, if you
a
poked around, you would
passenger
find a
list.
link to a flyer, which would then link them to the ship. The ship was registered in Port Wander, which means it's a rogue trader adjacent vessel. Um, what else? Located in Port Wander, registered in Port Wander.
Now he would have had most likely like when you go to those things, they ask you like where you're coming from, and then how long you're going to be, and
um,
when you're leaving
uh,
from, right?
the that would be the planet. If you went down to the planet proper, they would make you do that. The moons have different. Like this moon doesn't actually, um, by special agreement, it doesn't. They don't actually have to collect that information. They have. They only technically collect information on the ships they come from. They don't have, which you can get for this guy, but they don't have. They don't keep detailed customs records
Well, if
on the moon. Now, if he'd gone down to the planet proper or to the other moon, possibly there'd be
well,
possibly records,
we
and he
could
definitely procured muscle, which means he probably either met with someone who was from there or went down himself or sent someone from the ship down, which would have records and such.
I'm thinking that they might have gone down for supplies for
Possibly, yeah,
restocking certain things, like
yeah,
food or who knows.
yeah. They
Man,
probably would have done resupply or something. Yeah, there's a good chance they went down to the planet proper or
So,
talked to someone who did. So yes,
because otherwise,
there were
how else
records.
are we going to track them down?
Uh well, they have the astropath is you're clearly big on that, but yeah, they absolutely would also have.
But
Um,
wouldn't he have gone back with them?
yeah, but there's sanctioned astropaths have records attached more often than not. Um, yeah. Although I suppose there's nothing stopping an unsanctioned astropath from wearing a green hood. That's a scary thought. Don't.
there's also technically nothing stopping a rogue trader from employing an unsanctioned psyker.
That's true, and they wouldn't necessarily get in trouble unless, um, yeah, they're a, he's in, in fact,
And the problem I'm having is that even if we did track that to a rogue trader ship, it's not like we can just go on another rogue trader ship and go, you guys are making rebellions.
You can report them to the Inquisition, and with a heresy rebellion like that, you can. The Inquisition and rogue traders, like the Inquisition, can't, doesn't question rogue traders often, but if there is a significant evidence that they're fomenting rebellion specifically against the Imperium,
with,
that
with the amount of
is
information that we've gathered, let's say we do go to the planet and we find that group bought all that stuff and then headed back to their. I mean, how much more information do we need to connect them to the rebellion? I mean, would that be enough of a lead for an Inquisition?
depends on the Inquisitor, and but yeah, Order Hereditas, if you found a particularly zealous one, you could absolutely make the case. You would have to talk to the individual Inquisitor and figure that out. But yes, that is a possibility.
That seems like a lot less us getting shot version of the story.
Fair. Um,
So, what do you think, Finnick? Is that an attempt to go, or should we just? I mean, I'm not sure where else to go after that.
Yeah, it's tricky because, like, on the one hand, if we don't have enough to really pin them down and we blow the whistle early, then we kind of just blew our chance.
Right.
But, like, if we literally just go and, like, hypothetically, let's say we actually did manage to track them down somehow,
sure.
we might even not still have enough to go off of to necessarily even really do anything about it once we got there.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
Like, let's say we met up with one of their crew on a planet, because we're not going to, I would imagine we're not going to just board their vessel and, like,
yeah,
try to take them over. Like, say we met with them on a planet side somewhere, we're just going to go, hey, you guys were being mean, say you're sorry.
Yeah,
we're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe leverage if you said, well, we have evidence that you did this, and we might go to the Inquisition, or we could reach some sort of. Yeah, basically, it's all about leveraging the information, the threat of like blackmailing them with the that you have more information that you may or may not have to either get them to stop or pump them for more information, or the schemes within schemes, or they deny it, in which case you're like, well, why is someone trying to frame you? But that's a whole separate, and that's assuming that their denial is actually real and that they're not actually doing it and lying about it. So yeah,
Either way, it would leave us up a creek without a paddle. So.
Well, yeah, it would just be subtle negotiations on but yeah,
you'll have to get in touch with Odette and scramble the subtle negotiations team.
I mean, you have Mexender. He's pretty solid on that front. But yeah, you guys are not the subtle negotiation team.
What do you mean? Are you trying to say a flamethrower is not subtle? I think that gives a lot of subtle hints of violence that you don't want to mess with.
I'm sure there are methods.
We're going to subtly land on the planet and do a pyrotechnics air show on the way as we do.
We'll do that our Las Vegas show again with.
We're going to
the
subtly
pyrotechnics show
affix speakers to our shuttle and blast noise at like ridiculous volumes subtly.
And we're not noise range, we promise.
Oh, you didn't.
Things will get louder now.
Things will get loud now.
Yes, but yeah, you didn't actually end up using that shuttle. You have it as a backup plan, and you have an entire.
We were planning on it.
Yeah, but yes, the
Well, either way, I'm not I'm not really sure
Yeah.
what
So
our role in this would be now that we've got all that information. It
yeah.
seems like it seems like a job for other members
Yeah.
of the Rogue Trader crew to
Yeah.
take care of.
So yeah, you can pass it off and um but yeah, the once you pinpoint who it is, you can um yeah.
Well, again, is that something that we specifically need to do? I mean, because
Not
all we're
necessarily.
doing
Yeah,
is
you
just
can.
getting information at this point,
Yeah,
right?
if you can do information gathering, you can gather up what you know and what you suspect and package it up for a to be turned over to the Inquisition if needed, or used as blackmail, or whatever you think.
I'll be like, oh, all right, Seneschal, if you can, I'd like you to create a PowerPoint presentation explaining the situation here.
Says, I think I could do that. Uh,
I have full faith in you, buddy.
he just says, I suppose I'd want customs records. I suppose that could be procured easily enough. I can talk to the customs people. I know a few of them. Uh,
Excellent.
although I suppose there was a donut shop mentioned. I don't suppose you'd want to come with to go there.
Oh, you're just trying to learn me more into this random bureaucracy, aren't you?
I mean, it does
But you had me a
help to
donut, so
have that.
I'm going. I'm in.
All
Well,
right.
then again, I did promise the secretary I'd get her something.
Well,
And
she turned you down, but
no, she turned my donuts down. She didn't turn me down.
all right.
That's a
Sure.
separate check. That's a separate check, buddy.
I mean, it was a charm test and not a donut making test. In fairness. Um, what was I going to say? Oh yes. So, yeah, if you want to go down, Finnick, you're going with.
I mean, it sounds like we're going straight from here, so we don't
Yeah.
have to make an extra trip.
All right. Yeah.
I will be very bored and taking multiple swigs out of my hip flask.
Yes. You could also. There's probably also like fun stuff to do on the planet. Like you do land, and you are as you go down to the planet proper, you are uh pushed through custom. Yeah, you do have to go through customs and answer a few questions on this and that. Having the writ of trade, even if it's just a secondary tie into a main writ, is useful. You get
Yeah,
questioned and
I feel like I broke our rogue trader having pointed out that thing. Now it just sounds lame when we go there. Oh well, we have a secondary writ. Is that okay?
I mean, she's used to it. You know what I mean? Like she's been her whole life. Um,
But she's never mentioned this before. It's
well,
just
I
now
mean,
come up.
because she kind of assumes that you know. Like it's kind of one of those things. Like, yeah, of course, it's a secondary one I got from my father. Um,
But she doesn't have to start telling everybody else that now.
no, she's certainly not going to start telling anyone else. I mean, yeah, but
All right, so we go and you get that information,
yes,
get some
yeah,
donuts.
yeah. I would say what you find is that when you're sending a shot, he like is talking to his people. He's talking to people to talk. He has a whole methodology like behind the scenes doing this. Um, is there anything you're going off to get donuts, Fennec? Is there anything you want to do on the planet? Anything you want to procure?
Oh,
Um, the pilot will offer you. I can transfer over if you have a data slate. Um, you bored?
what?
If you have a data slate, I can transfer over one of these if you want.
Transfer what?
It's a book. Um,
It's a
well, I
game
mean,
that
they
they
don't
call
do this.
Pong.
I
Maybe
I
you've heard
miss
of
it.
it.
Rolls of dice. Nah, it's no, I miss it. Back on my own. I've seen worlds where they have the real like tree paper ones. Those on small worlds that aren't like hive world, like you gotta have the exact right size worlds for those to be a thing. But most of the
Three
time, it's just
paper ones.
you've never seen a paper book before.
Of course, I've seen a paper book.
But yeah, no, I
Wait,
I
do
don't.
you
You can't.
mean like pulp paper or vellum paper? Because they
No,
make
like the
both.
pulp stuff, the vellum. No one bothers binding anything other than saints' memoirs and stuff in vellum. Most of them are
Right.
like
Vellum's cheap.
depends on planet, I guess.
You have any idea how much vellum the Administratum goes through?
Yeah,
There are
but they're the
entire planets that
administratum.
have that are devoted to nothing but producing vellum.
Okay, yeah, the administratum, though that they don't use them for, uh, you know,
No, but when you're creating massive stacks of one resource, it makes entirely sense to, have some of it be moved into other applications.
I guess. The ones I saw were all pulp paper, but we don't usually go to planets that have them, and even if they do, they don't have the good ones. Oh, but my point is, I don't have one on me, but I have one of these. Kind of pulls out a
Or
cable. If you pop your data slate, I can give you one.
I don't have one with me.
You don't have a data slate?
Why would I carry extra equipment around? This is
Mm.
more weight.
Hang on, hang on. And he kind of pulls. I think I stashed, and he does hand you a book. This one. This one's good.
Is this guy hitting on you?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable though.
he realizes you're bored and he's bored, so he's like offering to let you share his book. But you know, anyway, yeah.
You just you just read random books because someone hands it to you.
You don't have to, but I mean, if you're bored, I don't know. If you're sitting around bored with nothing to do,
Well, if someone handed me a copy of Vogue, I'd be like, thanks.
I mean,
What am
I
I supposed to do with
First
it?
of all, it's Cosmo, and second of all,
those are two separate things. Cosmo and Vogue are both exist and are two different ones, and but yeah, ugh. Yeah, no. If you want to read, you have a book. If um, I got it on. It's not like anything. Well, actually, uh, it is um, uh, the Coffee House Chronicles. It is, um, yeah, it's book 67 of the Coffee House Chronicles. But
the what?
yeah, um, it doesn't specify that on the front. Um, it's in Rainbow Road, a coffee house connections. It says the novel, and then you look on the back, it's like the 67th one in the series, and
Oh, it's a novel.
yeah, well, novella. It's nothing, it's a couple hundred. Yeah,
No, I mean like this is fiction.
yeah, it's fiction.
He's not interested at all.
I don't know. It looks kind of fun. They have uh, you know, a young Dewey Eye. There's actually a guardsman on the cover, um, or you think that's supposed to be a Imperial Guard uniform. It's you know probably a variant of one.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you have if you're really bored, you have a novel, or you can go and like explore the custom center, and it has whatever. It's a hive world, so they have pretty much every you know whatever you want to do if you ever were bored. Anything you
Or
might
you
find
could
in
just
Paper City.
yank
Or
out all information of books out of that guy's head so he'll stop asking about
Oof.
you could if you wanted to, but
That'd be that'd be a
like,
little bit on the side of too mean.
yeah. I mean, he's got his paid up pad, but he offers you. But yeah. Um. So yeah. He's got something going. But yeah. But yeah, you can if you want to go out and explore a little. While Johan is off getting donuts, and um, actually, I need you both. Well, okay, you roll for Finnick, and I'll roll on behalf of the pilot. And I'm guessing, are you taking either you taking Nolan with you, or is he getting stuck waiting on the shuttle with the rest of you?
I think it's best to leave him on the shuttle. I don't need him setting fire to the planet.
All right, and Dr. Keynes will also be stuck on the shuttle as well, although is on constant micro beads if anything happens, which means that all of you have to roll. I even have stats for those guys as well. So what you're gonna do is roll an not great awareness check for me.
Oh.
Well, you don't. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
What type of awareness check?
Um, basic. Do you have awareness as a skill?
No, I mean, like, is this? What am I sensing? Is it touch, taste,
Oh,
smell? What?
I would say it would be a sight-based check.
Like,
Oh, because you have extra hearing because your ears are nice, then, right? You have better hearing than usual, if I recall
yes.
correctly.
What is an awareness check? Because I don't have a character.
Right.
What am I rolling?
Awareness is it should be a skill you would have. I think did I not send you?
You did, but this thing is like from level 1.
Right. Let me see what we got.
So
here.
I'm missing about
nerves of steel, basic
7
weapons,
levels or more of
talents.
information.
Yes. Enemy underworld, quick draw, like clipper, nerves of steel, basic.
And it doesn't have my skill. You didn't send me a character sheet. You sent me a notepad with a listing of stuff.
That is basically all I have for character sheets. Skills, tech use, intimidate, common lore, war, dodge, scholastic lore, tactical imperialis, secret tongue military, speak language, low gothic, literacy, forbidden lore, pirates. Yeah. So you do not have. Yeah, you have.
I could have sworn I sent you my new one with all my information and the sheet because it was on a sheet.
Yeah, you actually did get yourself an actual sheet, and I just like, why? You probably did. And I would probably find it somewhere if I went and looked. This is the one I had originally, which was
okay.
Yeah, this is how I make character sheets because.
All right. So, anyways, the point is that I don't know from that sheet that you gave me, the information that you gave me.
Yes.
What awareness falls under?
It would be a skill.
That is a character sheet. That is a character sheet.
Thank you.
Also, your perception's 43, so you would just have to roll under 43.
Okay. That's what I needed to know was I need to make a perception check. All right.
Yeah, well, it would be awareness is a specific skill that it would be rolling against your perception, but
right.
It depends on if you have it or not.
Okay, well, I'll pull up the PDF for Rogue Trader then, and I'll scroll up to the Arch Militant because I'm pretty sure they get it by default. They don't even need to buy it.
I would have thought so, but I would have written it down on the I wrote all the ones he had.
I rolled a 9, so if that doesn't make it,
oh no, that makes it even if it was a basic.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's a basic for sure.
It's actually not in there. Oh, they do have to buy it. It's only 100 XP, and you could have got it at rank 1, but you didn't buy it.
I'm pretty certain I did buy it.
Yeah, you bought it at some point. I absolutely sure, but I not.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it.
But yes, that is, yes.
Yeah, that's the one I picked up. That's the one I was using too. I probably got it from you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's so much. Like, why would you?
It's so much easier. It's so much easier to check what the hell I'm doing when I have
everything on there is organized and places you can see at a glance.
Yep.
It's very organized. It's like it lists in the order you need it. It's right there.
It's just a wall of text.
It's not. Well, it's formatted.
Sure it is.
It's formatted in list form. It's not a wall of text.
It is a wall of text.
All right.
Anyway.
Sorry, chat.
If you're curious on me, I had 4 degrees of failure.
Oh, so. Luckily, Dr. Keynes rolled a 7. So, Johan you noticed a lot of things, but because you are not in this particular vicinity, you not notice what, actually, no, it was No,
I
when he
don't
rolled
think
it.
I don't think Dr. Keynes is near me either. So
No, you, Dr. Keynes, Nolan, and they're sitting in the shuttle, all four of you.
oh,
Unless you left the shuttle. Did you leave the shuttle?
I okay. That's
If
sure.
you had left the shuttle, then you would have. Oh,
I don't
hey,
have
we
any
have
reason
dazzling
to
time.
have left the shuttle. So what is he?
Oh, no, yeah, because you left Nolan in the shuttle, you left the pilot in the shuttle, you left Dr. Keynes in the shuttle too, because. And then Johan went off to get donuts, and the Seneschal had scheming plans, and no one else was particularly bored. Because you said you
Sure,
didn't want to go off and do random stuff,
sure,
so.
sure.
Um, yeah, someone is trying to. It's like someone's stalking the shuttle. And I was like, someone's stalking the shuttle. Uh,
Stuck in the shuttle.
they're doing the circle thing. You look like you're not looking, but you're looking. They're got eyes on the shuttle. Someone specifically.
I mean, we're working for a rogue trader. It's a little uncommon. They're probably just curious.
No, I mean they circle back 3 times.
Maybe they're as bored as I am.
Just
Okay.
they're
I noticed that in space there's a shuttle circling ours.
Well, we're at the port. We're not
yeah
in
you yeah you
space.
yeah you guys landed so that
Okay.
Max Center could talk to all the
It's a
customs
person on
official
foot
on
walking
planet.
around.
Yeah, they're doing a surveillance sweep walk. We got trained on back when I was in before we got end up here. I was with we got trained on this. This is how you notice when you're being tailed, and this is
Mm-hmm.
we got it done. This is a thing. You talk to Johan, he'll tell you that the tailing is like a skill set, and this guy is
Is it technically possible for him to be tailing us if we're not moving?
just
He's just moving back and forth in the tail area. He's just circling around your tail.
He better not touch my tail.
no.
Well,
Yes.
that defeat the purpose of circling it. I mean, you'd notice, you'd know he was there then.
Yeah, but no, he is absolutely putting this shuttle under surveillance, and you're under. Now, granted, there's a lot of people on the port who have a lot of motives and a lot of stuff, and maybe they're just local crime bosses or, um, other people who might
Did
want to know.
did
But,
anyone in? So I noticed that, right?
you are off buying donuts, but yes, I would say with you would. Actually,
Like I'm looking back and I'm like, hey, that shuttle keeps circling around the area our shuttle's at.
well, no, but you
Hey,
would also notice that you're being observed too. You're being tailed as well.
I'll do the whole looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
There is you are being overly watched. There's someone there, and you're like that same. Hang on. Yep, no, this person is following me.
What does that person look like?
Uh, young, woman, maybe
Oh, woman. All right.
in her 20s, not anything fancy. Basic looking. She's got as plain clothes as possible, and you're like, she is definitely like in a really like. You're like, hang
Um,
on a sec, plain like very plain, no distinguishing colors or anything. Like all
that
neutrals, all
that
local
is really
styles. But
unlike all the normal women who stalk me.
yeah, this is all plain neutrals. Um, you know, uh, something tight fitting, but not like super tight. Like this is very much designed to be blend in clothes.
And I can tell she's a professional, not like some scrub just following me, right?
She's definitely on. She definitely has some skill and training in following people. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's not an amateur. She's got some, whether or not professional is debatable, but she definitely has some skill and she definitely is intent. Like this is.
And can I do one of those? I like go around a corner and then wait, and then when she comes around the corner, I give her a judo chop, knock her unconscious.
Yeah, you want to try that? Sure.
Yes, I would love nothing more than to
All
roll
right.
some
So yeah,
dice.
you get your box of donuts. Because you're not gonna leave behind without donuts. I'm certain.
Well, see, that's all. That's my lead in. She comes around the corner. I'm like right there, and I'm like, "You want a donut?" And while she looks at me surprised, gotcha, bitch.
Okay. You know what? I will let you pull this. Go for it. Uh, I would say that would be an attack, and I will give you a +10 because you threw off with the donuts.
Okay.
Um, yeah, roll a weapons check. I would say. Yeah, I would say unarmed punch or something would be a weapons check.
Weapon skill.
Weapon skill,
Weapons, yeah.
yes.
Okay, so what did I roll? +10. Ooh, well, I'm glad I got the +10 because I got a 51,
Which would be
and I needed a
41.
55, and I needed a 45 or 55. Oh no, I'm looking at Phoenix thing. Hold on, why is that pulled up?
Because he,
Because
yeah,
I was like, oh, you know, it'd be useful, a character sheet to look at.
yeah. Your weapon skill is 37.
Oh well,
You are
then I failed. I
well.
said judo chop. Oh, I forget, and I covered my tracks by saying, "Oh, I was supposed to give you the donut first," and I throw the donut at her and see if that distracts her.
Um, she ducks back, pulls a weapon,
Okay.
and then but she does instinctively go to catch the donut. So I will let you roll the weapon skill again with the other hand.
I
With the other
am
hand, you're gonna drop your donuts.
Oh, that's a con.
no, it's a juggle. It's I have I have high agility, and I have I'm
Ambidextrous.
ambidextrous. So I'm like, throw it up in the air, yeah, miss, grab it, throw it up in the air again.
I will let you roll the weapons skill again. Neat.
Okay. Well, this one came out better because it's a 27.
There you go. That yeah. So you managed to punch her. Um,
They always fall for the second donut every time.
and she kind of fumbles and you punch her in the face. She's gonna fall back. Let's see. I don't have a character sheet for her. But yeah, you managed to punch her in the face. What else? What are you doing? She's gonna scramble. She's gonna run. She's gonna try and run.
Yeah.
That would
How
give you
bad?
attack of opportunity. If you want to pull a pistol and shooter, you want to pull. You could pull one of your bolters and pull pistols and shooter. You could try to trip her. But what do you try and do?
What is she wearing?
Um, cloth. Like
Like, does she
pants.
have like any armor on, or is it just
No,
tight fitting clothing?
I mean not tight fitting, but yeah. I mean there might be something like a layer of Kevlar that would protect from stabbings, but she's
Mm.
not gonna have anything that'll stop a bolt shell. She's wearing regular street clothes, cargo pants that aren't like super loose. She has pockets. She does pull a knife, but she's running.
Well, she has to recover first, right?
Yeah, she did fall, so she has to climb up, but she definitely
As
is.
she's trying to get up, I pull out my manacles that I, for some reason, is on my character sheet.
Yeah, I mean
And
you have a
manacle
set that you have.
manacle attack.
I mean, yeah, you have a pair of cuffs kicking around. You can cuff her if you want to try and cuff her. You
I'll
want to try
try
and
to do
cuff her?
that. Yeah, I don't need to. You know, it's hard to get information out of her if I
Yeah. So she's gonna
blow her
turn.
up, and I will blow her up because I am very
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you start shooting her, you're gonna hit her. But yeah. I
So
mean,
what are and as
it's
I'm manacling, I'm like, that's a brave choice attacking an arch militant like myself of a rogue traitor.
and she's. I didn't attack. I didn't attack. I didn't. And she's trying to run, but yeah, I would say yes.
Well,
Roll.
did I get to? Well, if I manicle her, she's not running.
Well, she's gonna start to try and crawl away and stand up. You're gonna have to make another
Sure.
successful um, check to cuff her. I would say it would probably be like weapon skill. Yeah, I'd say it was another weapon skill.
Okay. Do I get any bonuses for this?
She's. I would say you get a +20 because she's on the ground. Kind
Oh,
of
good.
spitballing this, but
Okay.
seems like the kind of check you would roll for this. And so yeah, give us a.
40, 49.
That's not going to be enough. Even with the +5, that would be enough. So yeah, wait,
You
49.
said
Wait,
plus.
so you
You
got a
said plus
+10. So
20. You said plus
oh no,
20.
+20. So 49. That's 39. That's 29. Yeah, that's enough. She is cuffed. Yeah, with the
Ching.
+20 from being prone, she's cuffed.
And then I will force her to the ground and I'll sit on her.
Yeah, you are now sitting on top of a young woman in plain clothes, just sitting there.
Young lady, you want to explain yourself while you were tailing me?
I got orders from the boss. Said keep an eye on these people, cause rogue trader.
Which boss?
Allegedly, boss.
Don't make me have my astropath rip it out of your head.
I mean, he's.
He's very good at it, by the
I'm
way.
sure. No.
And at least 15% of them live after he's done. So I have faith in you. You can do it. You could do it.
Hang on. Can't breathe. I mean.
That the breathing will be the least of your problems once our astropath gets done with you. Oh, let me tell you.
It's just okay. So Arjun. His name's Arjun. That's the name he goes by. He just some guy slipped him 100 creds and said, uh, keep tabs in case these people show up, and you showed up, so he sent me out to check on you.
And is he Argent in charge of the shuttle that's circling around our shuttle?
I don't know. There were others, right? They had one of us down the shuttle port. Keep an eye on your shuttle, but um, um, um. Look, it was just keep an eye out, and they wanted a message back. You pay the toll for the astropath to send out the message to his astropath and tell him that you were here, and what you did. They want details, and
you got that communicator on you?
No way.
Then how are you going to do your job? Come on, yeah.
I was
you're
back and
competent
report.
enough to try to find me, so you can't tell me you didn't have a communicator so that you could give that information back to your.
Those things you can track. Cops track them all the time. You can ping them. It's safer to go back to the safe house, make the report, and then compile it, and then go to send it out. Was supposed to be just a fact finding. You don't carry anything that can get pinged. That's 101.
Hey, Finnick, are you there?
What's up?
I found apparently someone has been hiring people to keep tracks of us, keep track of our whereabouts. You may have noticed. Have you noticed anything?
Me? No, I haven't noticed anything.
Well, I'm sitting on one right now.
Sitting on what?
On one of our trackers. I use the old donut trick on them. They fall. They always fall for the second donut. They always do.
So,
anyways,
are you gonna be okay?
Sure, I've got her manacled up, and but apparently they have a safe house to go to relay their information. That she was kind enough to let me know that they do that. And so I'm sure she's going to be kind enough to let us know where that safe house is, or else, as I was explaining to her earlier, that you'd be more than happy to just take the information from her head, it would be much easier if we just skip that process. But I wanted to give you the option first, if you'd like. Either way, we should all meet up before we head to this place to get more information on who's spying on us.
Oh, is it Seneschal not taking care of that?
He's still talking. Talk. That's all those Senechal's do.
It takes time to track down customs agents and talk to, he's...
They speak a whole different language I don't understand. Bureaucrat. Isn't that right? Do you have a name? He says, looking down at her. A real one?
Elsha.
Okay, do you have a shorter name? Because I'm not saying Osha every time.
Elsha, just I can't breathe.
Well, of course not. I'm sitting on you.
Elsha. Okay, so it is 1 o'clock. So
No,
all
I
right.
mean, I think we're at a good
Yeah,
point
good.
to cut off. I'll try to have my character remade by the time.
Yes. But yeah.
I'll have to. I feel like I'll have to ask you, like an approximation of how many EXP points we've gotten in that time.
I can tell you exactly how many XP points they've gotten in that time.
Oh, well then please send me a message with that information, and then I'll just rebuild my character.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll send you that, and you can pick and choose and redo whatever. Yeah. All right. So it's 1:05. So thank you everyone who's watching. We got Dazzly Cat at least, and at least one shill for random for viewing people to buy. You know, they have a paid shill hopped in to say
Hey,
hi.
we had Daz Kit.
Yes, Dazzling Cat. Daz is cool. Daz is
Is
like the regent of House Sarapata for Game of Tomes, which
oh,
I've got.
that's very nice.
Just but also, um, so these are our cool people. Our friends, they're all on my stream Discord, which is right there. If you want to come join us, and we have a Rogue Trader, you know, and these two people are both on there. So if you wanted to ask them any questions about the character, you could maybe ping them there. I don't know. But Celiax, do you want to say anything cool about where people can find you and where you are? And like you're running a Death Watch game at a con, like you're gonna.
Do not try to find me.
Okay. Do not try. We have on the bottom we have Sig, who is a artist, and oh yes, I have a shout out for you specifically made.
All right.
Yes.
Good one, guys.
Yes, a
Have a good
professional
one. Good day of work.
artist. Sorry.
Well, I am not only an artist, but due to all the recent immigration problems we've been in Florida, we've been having a lack of food trucks. So I now run a taco truck part time,
I see.
and I specialize in dessert tacos.
Ooh, sounds fun if anyone's in Florida.
And well, I'm not great at it. I do feel a need at night because like there's a large party crowd in Tallahassee, and after when they're after the club, when they come out, the first thing they want is snacks, and I'm like,
yes,
got them for you right here.
Drunk. I will tell you when you're drunk that there are certain foods that are just they hit right when you're drunk. I will tell you, but
exactly.
Yes. Um,
Yeah, Lee, it's been a weird experience, like trying to sort like the differences between the tabletop game and the video game.
Yeah.
Because there's like there's similarities, but there's also differences. So it's
yeah. I have yet to play the video game version. I've just I learned the lore through the novels.
Mm-hmm.
And then picked up the TTRPG version and was just, and I did play Space Marines for a little bit, but
yeah, because I was looking for a Blade Dancer to see if they had, because Blade Dancer is cool.
Blade Dancer is like an Eldar thing, right?
No, it's a anyone. It's just no, it's an Imperium thing. It's like an Imperium cult, and they
never heard of it.
They're like, I mean, they try to weed out heretics and find heresy, and they're part of a cult.
So Imperial, I mean, if they're officially Imperial cult, then they're good. If they're not officially,
well, they're what's the word? Stoic or something like that. There's like 3 different alignments, I guess. There's like stoic.
That's a personality alignment, like good or evil. But yeah. I would imagine, but that's not. I mean, like, are they Emperor cult? Are they Slanesh cult? Are they who
Emperor?
Are they
they're definitely yeah. These guys were like lurking at the bottom of the Rogue Trader ship. The Rogue Trader didn't even know that they were on there.
That sounds sketchy, but all right.
Well, I mean, this Rogue Trader ship is like thousands of years old.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, your own ship has a large population. Like you have 30,000 people
and
on
this
your ship as well.
and like due to an original like a deal made with one of the original
Mhm.
rogue traders. They allowed them to build because they're like these guys are like the cult of the red spider or the red web or
All right,
something like
I
that.
am gonna end the stream, but
Okay, sorry about that.
yes, I didn't think to, but yeah, you're cool. We have Alfheim if you want to join, but that is cool, and we are gonna raid Lord Gazimba, and so let me do that. Get that set
Okay.
up. We're gonna raid Lord Gazimba. We go to raid. Should be on. Should be still running, right? Yeah, yes. I said I was gonna raid Lord Gazimba, so we're gonna raid Lord Gazimba. Thank you everyone for coming. Go to the website. Take care of yourselves, everyone, always. And we don't have a lot of viewers. I think they all left already. But, well, if they are, they're going to see Lord Gazumba. Boom.
Right.
You're probably going to end up there as well. Then I'm going to end the stream. Then we can talk. I'm just going to.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.